Sane, the leader of the heroes group, walked up to me and said, "I'm sorry, but from now on, you're out of the group." "Why?" "I've been with you for a long time. We've been friends since childhood, we've been together since we left our hometown, and we've been supporting each other all these years." And it's not only with him, but also with the other 3 members, the warrior, Sora, a priest, and Lisa, the witch. The 5 of us together form this group of White Fangs. It is true that lately I have felt like a burden, and that my abilities have not continued to increase compared to my companions. But still, this is all very sudden. "You know why, Toru?" "I still have time to improve." "You are about to be chosen as the hero. You will go on many adventures. Take me with you as a warrior too." "That's exactly why. My debut as a hero is crucial. Getting good results is necessary. It would not be right if my best friend dies in our first battle. Please understand me." Why do I notice little empathy in his words? I want to know these words that are coming from my best friend, someone I have loved so much. They sound so empty. I turn my attention to my girlfriend Lisa. I am sure she will support me in this. I think Sane is right. Toru can't be in this group anymore. I'm sure he'll die soon. He's not someone who's on our level anymore. Lisa. I never imagined that she would say something like that. And what was most worrying, is that for some reason, she couldn't look at me. Suddenly, my eyes fell on her right hand. There was a ring on his ring finger that I didn't recognize. It's funny, that's supposed to be the ring I gave her. Lisa notices my glance and quickly hides her right hand. I look at the other 3, and all 4 were wearing the same ring. My eyes turned glassy. And deep inside I thought, is that the reason? Was I getting in their way? My girlfriend cheated on me with my best friend, but when did it happen? How could I not have realized that all this time? I don't know. Maybe this is my paranoia talking and I'm just imagining things. Anyway, there was no place for me here anymore. Now that everything is clear, return to the village in silence, and support our future triumphs from a distance, son of a bitch. In a fit of anger, I punched Sane in the face. I knew that nothing would be solved if I hit him, but I couldn't stand it. This guy knew that Lisa and I were engaged, and he still did it. More than anything, I was disgusted with myself for being so soft. I couldn't see the true nature of the man I thought was my best friend. As Sane stood up, he made a notch in his face. He was making fun of me for being so gullible. He was good no matter what I did. He was handsome, he was strong, and he was chosen as the hero. Should have hit him more, but I am devastated by all that happened. Stop. You're disgusting. You're not worth it, Toru, you're scum. Our 3 childhood friends are all defending him at the same time. While Lisa stared at me, it was enough to make my wounded heart bleed. Here, I'll give it back to you. Now get out of here. Lisa had thrown me the ring I gave her. It hit my chest and rolled on the table. All the customers in the tavern turned their eyes towards us. Forgive him, Lisa. It's normal for Toru to be confused by all this. It's true, I acted inappropriately. I'm sorry, Toru. I was speechless. In front of everyone, I was the one who was acting wrong. And Lisa didn't feel any guilt about betraying me. The days we had spent together began to fade quickly. I'm tired of this. I don't want to have anything to do with the lot of you anymore. I'm getting out of this place, and out of this disgusting group. The 4 of you have been good to me. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye. It's good that you accepted. Yeah, good luck out there. See you. I grabbed the ring and left the tavern. Goodbye, ex-comrades and lover. Stop. You're disgusting. I left the city, and continued on my way through the meadow. I didn't decide where I would go, I just wanted to get away from all of them as soon as possible. I'm a complete loser. I opened my right hand and stared at the ring. When I gave her this, she was really happy. She even accepted my proposal. I gritted my teeth and started to cry. From now on, I will take a new path. There is no need for this. I stopped, took a deep breath, and threw the ring far out into the meadow. I am so frustrated that I feel like I'm going to die. I really want to kill Sane right now, but I'm not going to do that. He is my ex-best friend, even if he is a piece of shit. And killing him won't bring Lisa back to me. Shit. I sat down and punched my fist in the dream. Unprocessed emotions swirled around me, interrupting my thoughts. Normally I wouldn't do something like that, but even for a man of manners like me, this pain was unbearable. My heart screams in pain as it tears my body apart from within. What was wrong with me? And what was good about him? What was I to her? What did she think when she slept with him? How can she betray me and not care? There is no one to answer the questions that arise in me. I didn't stop punching until my knuckles bled and I could finally calm down. I hope this helps clear my mind at least a little, although I still feel sad. Let's think about the future. For now, let's go to a neighboring country and start over. I'm not sure what to do yet. And I don't know if I can do things right either. Skills: I am aware that I do not have the best stats. I have many skills, but they are all useless. At best, they can be used to reduce damage, strengthen the body, and increase the effectiveness of the skills. This mysterious saving skill, which I have named after myself, is useless as a whole. The use of the skill is unknown. Even if I ask an expert to examine the stats, they cannot give me an answer. It is an unknown skill, and it is also unknown whether or not it is an automatic activation skill. Unknown, unknown, all unknown skills. If only I had an ability as strong as Sane's, I wouldn't be in this situation. Not that I'm a hero, but compared to him, my stats are crap. It's a shame, but it's an undeniable truth that I'm a burden. I'm not sure what I can do with this. I don't even know how to use it to my advantage. It's very common for people to treat me as a burden when I'm 20 years old, and I have these skills. Arf, arf. A black demon dog just appeared in front of me. I drew the sword I had on my back, and I held it tightly. Here I go. Pained whimper in the blink of an eye, the demon was lying on the ground. It's the kind of monsters I had a hard time with when I left town, and now it's not a problem for me. Crack, crack, crack. There was a sound like glass breaking inside me. 8 tilde snotis. Since the experience value savings LVL has reached the upper limit, it will pay 100 times more. 8 tilde snotis. The payment has been multiplied by 10 due to the effect of the skill effect upper notice. LVL became 308 tilde 8 tilde snotis. The current race cannot maintain its body. Beginning physical reconstruction. 8 tilde snotis. Completion of physical reconstruction. The race has become a dragonter. The messages appear in front of me. Am I no longer human? I remain stunned as I hold my sword. The suddenness of this situation makes it difficult for me to understand what is happening. Level 300. You've got to be kidding me. From what I know, being level 100 is practically being a hero. I can't even imagine what would qualify as level 300. 8 tilde snotis. The savings of experience has been corrupted. It will take some time to repair. A tilde. The texts that appear in front of me are starting to bother me a little. Better check my stats now. Skills. I'm really moving up a level. My head is starting to hurt. It's the first time I've seen these numbers. I have to calm down a bit. Even a fool like me should be able to understand all this. Saving. This word is used to store something. Does it mean that this ability has been limiting my experience all this time? All the experience that I had accumulated all this time has been released, plus a bonus for everything you've accumulated. So, this means that most of my level and experience had been retained by this skill. I had always been a level 40, like my ex-friends. Damn, this skill is a parasite. When you understand it, every point makes sense. I, in particular, had tried harder than anyone else in the group, fighting to the bitter end. However, I found it strange that my level had stagnated. I have done nothing but break my back more than anyone else in the group to try to catch up to them. And now, was it because of this that my rise in level and experience had been hindered? Now, I don't mind having broken off my friendship with them. In fact, I'm glad I found out about it now. Well, I have decided I am going to travel the world. Having a level of 300, I have nothing to fear. I can go wherever I want. From now on, I'm going to do whatever I want and live however I want. Maybe I'll find something that can fill the huge hole in my chest. But first, I must visit the neighboring countries to prepare. If I am going to make such a long trip, I will need supplies. I put my sword on my back, and started walking quietly along the road. I left the country of Balsl, and arrived in the neighboring country of Armand. To be more specific, to the border town of Livio. As expected, Armand is a very busy place even when you are in such a remote area. I was taken aback by the number of people who passed through here. There were also food stands, and delicious aromas that stimulated my stomach. Suddenly, there was a sign in a store that caught my attention. Livio's slave store. Slave stores are not very common. In fact, I even hate them. It's the kind of place I would normally ignore. But I had just been betrayed, and I was drawn to it. A slave would never betray their master because of the contract. They are not even capable of telling a lie, even if ordered to do so. They will always be there for me. The faces of my former companions came to mind. Just thinking about them, I could feel my blood start to boil. I clenched my fists and held back my anger. I need a partner I can trust. It would be a good idea to have a right-hand man who could keep this unusual status a secret and never betray me. If I don't, my distrust of people is likely to increase. After being betrayed by my best friend, my lover and my childhood friends, I have nothing left to lose. To maintain my peace of mind, I need a trustworthy friend who will always support me. I don't care how strong they are. I just want to feel safe. I just want to know deep down that there is still something in this world that I can trust. I walked to the door, and without hesitation, I opened it. The doorbell rang, and I walked to the counter. Behind the counter, there was an old man with a very distinguished look. He seemed to be the owner of the store. He kept smiling at me. "Welcome. What can I do for you today?" "I need a slave I can take with me to battle." "Any specific race? Do you have other uses in mind?" "Nothing specific." The old man nodded, and guided me to the back of the tent. In a dimly lit place, we were surrounded by countless cages. There are probably strong men and women in there, and even elves or lizardmen. Even races you can't see around here. I recommend this lizard man for combat. His hard skin is capable of repelling blades, and his character is that of someone loyal. He is the perfect slave if you want to have someone watching your back on the battlefield. How much? 30 million, sir. I want to see the others. I only have a budget of 1.5 million. It's not a huge amount, and I can't afford it. He placed his hand in the cage, and raised the face of an elf by placing his finger on her chin. This elf has no combat experience yet, but I'm sure she'll be good company at night. She has an enormous amount of magic, so if you raise her as a magician, she should be able to serve you very well in the long run. And what's the price? 25 million. It's still very expensive. I think I came to this place at a bad time. I should have asked about the slaves' cost at the market before I came here. The old man turns to see me squinting. "May I ask what your budget is?" 1.5 million. That would make the quality of the slave much lower, but I can introduce you to someone in that price range. Thank you. We walk a little further back until we reach a curtain. Ugh! A very strong stench invades my nose. It is an odor produced by feces, urine and sweat. In that place there were countless small cages. Inside were beasts of all sizes, and even human children. Most of the slaves here are worth less than 1 million. Why are they so cheap? They are weak, ugly, sick, have no training whatsoever, and are unreliable. They are useless at the moment, but there is a great possibility that they are good for something else. I am disgusted by slaveholders who talk about people as if they were property. However, that also includes me, since I'm trying to buy one. I kept looking around for a slave to capture my interest. And there, in a small cage located in a corner of this space, there was a very dirty little girl with white hair. I approached her for a closer look. The girl was very thin, and out of breath. Her long bangs covered her eyes, so I couldn't see her face very well. Her clothes were so worn out that I hesitated to look at her directly. I could feel that girl looking at me, with dead eyes through her hair hiding her face. 300. The girl fled to the corner of the cage. I have no doubt that this girl was able to see my stats. Could this girl have the appraisal ability? She is very rare. It's just something I'm guessing. And it's not like people can tell my level just by looking at me. How much for that girl? 110,000, sir. Isn't that too low a price? No sir, it's a fair price. After all, she is very ill, and weak, and is a poor slave who cannot be used, unless she is boiled or roasted. The girl coughed violently. He was right, her physical condition was quite bad. No matter how rare the skills, if they are too weak, it may be inevitable that they will come at too low a price. Or do they not realize that slavers are appraisers? I'm not sure that's true. But if I think about it properly, I could get a doctor to examine you. What is your name? Hey, answer the customer. The slaveholder hit the cage with his cane. I like her name. And there was something about this girl that caught my attention. I guess you could call it intuition. I can't explain what attracted me to her, but in a way, I thought she was good. I'll buy this girl. Thank you for your purchase. The slaveholder bowed, while having a big smile on his face. After the transaction, the customer must make a master-slave contract. One question: do I have to reveal my status? No, number. All you have to do is shed a little blood. Alright then. I was reassured when he told me I didn't have to reveal my status. He seems to be a very discreet man, but anyway, I didn't want anyone to know. It was looking at me with anxious eyes. The master-slave contract took about 30 minutes to complete. All I had to do was place the tip of a special needle in a dye containing my blood and use it to lightly prick the area where Kid's heart is meant to be. Then a black pattern emerged and the contract was completed. When Kid became my property, she was so weak that she couldn't even walk. Standing on her own was impossible. I carried her on my back and left the store. Before leaving, the slave driver gave me a little advice. If you plan to go to a drugstore to get her medicine, she may be able to recover a little. However, her illness is quite serious. In order for her to be completely cured, she will need a potion made from the heart of a dragon. Will a wyvern heart work? No, I'm talking about a real dragon. I'm not sure a subspecies will work. Well, thanks for the information. The slave driver smiled and said, No, please don't hesitate to visit us again. On the way to the inn, I felt uncomfortable because of the lightness of the girl on my back. I guess it's good that I bought her, but still, I don't know how to handle this. Why did I choose a girl? If my plan is to have a slave to bring along on an adventure, I should have chosen a boy. But I couldn't leave this girl alone. Probably because in a way, I empathize with her. Her weak, downcast and lonely appearance was how I felt at this moment. That's why I wanted to help her. I want to show her that there are still people in this world that she can trust. It may be ridiculous, but there is no other reason than that. And it's true that I was intuitively drawn to her. I found it strange just by looking at her. Go ho, are you okay? Yes. Should I go to the pharmacy before I go to the inn? I looked for a pharmacy while asking people for directions. It's a pretty rare disease that affects beastkin. The doctor looks into the girl's mouth and mutters. That word created a question mark in my head. Are you telling me she's not human? It's hard to understand because she doesn't have ears or a tail, but this child is of the beastkin race. You see, the pupils are vertically long. There is also a slight bump around her waist, as if she has a tail. If what you say is true, then will the basic physical ability be high? This is quite unexpected news. What can I do to cure your disease? As the slave master mentioned, you'll need a potion made from a dragon's heart. But it's ridiculously expensive to buy, and you'd have to be a hero to kill a dragon. Can I make a potion out of a dragon's heart? Yes, it's possible to do so. The doctor seemed to want to say something else, but quickly closed his mouth. He must have realized that it was useless to stop me. Once I set out to do something, I will not rest until I have accomplished it. Fortunately, I now have the power. I have no reason not to. Go ho. I stroked her head and said, don't worry, I'll be back soon, and I'll cure you. She was looking at me through the gap in her bangs as she breathed heavily. I'm sure she was worried. She doesn't know what kind of person the master who bought her is and what purpose he has in helping her. For us to reach good results, you must first be cured. Or do you find it strange that a master would take care of his slave? Kid shook her head as she shook herself. She is a good and honest child. I have to build a proper relationship of trust to make us friends. I'll give you some cough and fever pills. You can come back when you run out of medicine. Thank you. Old man. Who are you calling old? I'm not even 30 years old. The doctor hit me on the head. I heard that in a forest near the city, a real dragon has been living there for a while. It's been 3 hours since I started walking in the forest. I'm not tired yet, but I'm mentally exhausted by the same scenario. They told me I could find it if I walked to the mountain, But where? I advanced through the foliage. Occasionally I see goblins and orcs, but when I look at them, they slip away. I wonder if they use their wild intuition to detect danger. It still feels odd. A roar so loud that it shook the forest. It's definitely from a dragon. This is where I finally got nervous. A thoroughbred dragon is a monster that I've never seen or fought before. The usual way to defeat them is with a carefully planned military campaign, or it's a feat that a group of heroes can accomplish. I really wonder if I can defeat it on my own. The image of Kid crossed my mind. I'm sure she's waiting for me. I'm not like those guys. I won't easily abandon my friends. I will never betray their feelings. The forest was cut down and I went out into the open. In a hole in the rock face of a steep mountain, a bright red dragon lies prostrate. It is a red dragon, a dragon of relatively low rank among species. But even so, it is one of the strongest of the lower classes. Hey, dragon, fight me. Garuk. The red dragon opens one of its eyes and takes a look at me. He immediately lifts his body and looks at me with those sharp pupils. He is very big. He must be at least 10 meters tall. But there is no turning back now. I am determined to do so. I drew the sword I had on my back. The dragon, on the other hand, also spread its wings and stood upright on two legs. It looks much bigger. I will not back down. I ran vigorously towards the dragon, jumped up, and hit it diagonally. Then a powerful shockwave was generated, which shook the earth and the forest very much. Unexpectedly, the dragon's body was cut diagonally and fell to the ground. I defeated it with a single blow. I find it hard to believe that this is my power. That's supposed to be a dragon. It's a monster that easily turns a city into a sea of fire. So, this is the power of a 300 level. This is not a power that you can easily exercise. I quickly approached the dragon's corpse. Ugh. It's splattered with blood. I start searching all throughout his body until I get to his heart. And I decided to cut off some organs that could be useful to me. Speaking of which, I wonder what dragon meat tastes like. I was curious, so I cut off some of the fatty meat. This should be enough to save the girl. Let's hurry up and go to the doctor. Did you really go hunting for him? The doctor was so surprised that he fell out of his chair. No wonder he was surprised. It seems that I went for a walk in the park instead of hunting a dragon. I also brought some liver and other things, if you need it. These materials are very valuable. You can keep them. What? I don't need them. As long as I get the potion, that's all that matters. The doctor immediately began to prepare the mixture and soon completed the potion. He was also pressured by the money, saying that he would do it for the dragon's organs. The price was about 30 million. He was supposed to pay for the medicine, but instead he benefited from it. I take the medicine and go back to the inn where Kid is resting. You will feel better if you drink this. Is it for me? Can you drink it? She nods her head and takes the medicine. It won't work once, so I'll have to make sure she takes it regularly from now on. I felt that Kid's complexion had improved. Today we'll eat rice porridge, but from tomorrow I think I can give her a more decent meal. Once she's asleep, her breathing begins to grow calmer. Her rigid expression seems to have softened, and I'm relieved to see it. However, the power I have is beyond my imagination. It is something terrifying. Defeating the dragon with a single blow is unusual. I'm afraid that if I don't fight carefully from now on, I could get involved in unwanted situations. Maybe I should train K to fight for me. For that, though, I need her to recover soon. Crack! I thought I heard a familiar and disturbing sound echoing inside me. After waking up, I noticed something warm and soft on my futon. I turn my head and see Kid curled up next to me, still asleep. Why is she sleeping here? I don't think we need to sleep on the same futon. Or did she sleep with me because she was cold? If so, it makes sense. I got out of bed, leaving Kid where she was. It's a nice day today. I'll have to make sure Kid has a good meal from now on. I turn back to the bed and stare at Kid for a moment. Her body is still thin and emaciated. Even the slave collar, which defines someone as a slave, seems to be the wrong size. Oh, that's right. I brought some dragon meat. I think I'll use it to make breakfast. I leave the room and go down to the second floor. Since this inn also has a restaurant, I introduce myself to the cooks and show them the meat. Is it possible that you can cook this meat? I will pay you for it. What kind of meat is it? At first glance it looks like pork, but on closer inspection, It's not. It is the meat of a red dragon. Really? I let the owner cook the meat. But it was funny to see his surprised reaction when he discovered that it was dragon meat. Here you go, dragon meat. And I made a chopped hamburger. Thank you. On the table were a steak, salad, and a hamburger. I left the hamburger cooked while I ate the steak. I ran the knife over the steak, and was surprised at how incredibly smooth the meat was. It certainly looks like pork. But when I put it in my mouth, the texture was not pork, but chicken. And it was like chicken with a lot of fat. Oh, number 2 delicious. I feel as if I can no longer look at dragons as anything other than a simple ingredient for food. After that big breakfast, I went back to the room as soon as I could move. Oh, Master. It was already awake, but she was still lying in my bed. I'm sure you're hungry. I've made you some food, so you'd better eat. What is that? Dragon burger. Her tone of voice sounded clearer, so it seems the medicine works. I was relieved to see that she wasn't coughing and seemed to be getting better and better. Gets out of bed, sits down on a chair, and starts eating with a knife and fork. Oh? I thought she wouldn't have that kind of knowledge since she was a slave, but could it be that this girl had received that kind of education in the past? Despite her haggard appearance, her manners were splendid. However, after a few minutes, she became a little violent when consuming her food. She must have been very hungry. You don't have to force yourself like that. We must do something about that outfit, eh? She then coughed up the food a little. Its face turned red and she looked embarrassed. Excuse me for looking like this. You don't have to apologize. The culprits are the slave owners who didn't treat you as you deserved. Master. Kid's eyes turned glassy. Eat quickly. Also, you have sauce on the edge of your mouth. After finishing her meal, I prepared to leave. Wait, I'm coming with you. You can't, you're still reeling. But, I have to practice to do it. That's a good point. Her broken bar. If at some point she can't walk on her own, I'll carry her on my back. And I've never bought women's clothes before, so I don't know the details. We left the inn together and headed to the market. First we went to the clothing store. There, I bought some very nice adventurers' clothes. Was the shoe store. I bought a pair of leather boots. Was the armor store. There, I bought some leather armor, a knife and a cane. It looks like a cane, but it's very special. Are you sure you want to use that cane? Yes, please. Well, if it makes you happy. The cane she chose had an unusual fan shape. The material is an alloy commonly used in iron fans. According to the store owner, the fan-shaped cane is used only in a few areas. He said he found it at the market and grabbed it because of its rarity. However, the iron fan is large enough for a child to handle. It also weighed quite a bit. Kit opened the fan with her thin arms and handled it easily. Isn't it too heavy? Yes, it is. But I will be able to handle it perfectly once I get better. Come to think of it, Kit comes from a tribe of beastkin with great physical abilities. Although she is weak now, she should originally have been able to handle it easily. If she does not have the ability to do so, she is free to change weapons. We left the store and walked down the street together. I think we bought everything we needed, although I think there was something else to buy. Suddenly, I realized that Kid wasn't following me. I turned around, and saw that she had stopped in front of a food stand. Do you want some? Number. Don't be shy. I have a lot of money now. Yes, I would. I couldn't help but pat her on the head as she spoke shyly. Kid bent her head down while it was totally red. The stall was a bakery of sweet baked dough. I tried it once. I think it was because Lisa begged me. When I try to remember, a deep, heavy feeling of sadness and emptiness wells up in my chest. Why was I betrayed? I want to know. I regained my senses immediately, thinking that I should not go any further with those thoughts. No matter how hard I try, I will never know the answer. It's better to call it a day. I bought some sweets and we sat on a bench. Here, eat as much as you like. Thank you, Master. Can't you stop calling me that? But, the Master is the Master. Kid put on a worried face. Maybe it's because she's a slave. I guess that's how you were raised. Master, you don't like this annoying and expensive slave, and you're thinking of getting rid of me? What are you talking about? Kid bends her face and starts to cry. I'm sure she was thinking about it while we were shopping. I'm still surprised, but I think she's had a bad time as a slave. I stroked her head to make her feel calm. I'm not going to abandon you. I want you to support me until I die. I may not be the best of teachers, but I need you. No, the master is the best teacher. I would do anything for him. So please let me be by your side forever. Oh, that's okay. I am a little embarrassed, but at the same time happy. I wonder if I have managed to at least build some trust between the two. The sweets in my mouth feel more delicious. We're going to have to cut those bangs. I don't think you can see very well. If you have scissors, you can cut them yourself. Really? Then we'll buy them on the way to the inn. Crack, crack, crack. That familiar sound again echoed through my head. Notice, since the magic energy saving level has reached the upper limit, 100 times more will be paid. 8 notice, the payment has been multiplied by 10 due to the effect of the skill effect up. 8 notice, since the skill's experience value savings level has reached the upper limit, 100 times more will be paid. 8 notice, the payment has been multiplied by 10 due to the effect of the skill effect up. 8 notice, magic energy savings, skills experience has been damaged. It will take some time to repair. 8 notice, the skill level limit has been destroyed. A new limit will be established. 8 notice, a new skill has been acquired, duplication of experience value, general. 8 notice, a new skill, magic clone, has been acquired. It seems that my skills have been broken and repaired yet again. The letters flowed vigorously into my vision. The amount of magical power circulating in my body had increased incredibly. I cannot control the magical power and it gradually escapes from my body. The surface of my body became distorted as if it were shimmering. How much magic power did I just get? Just the thought of it is terrifying. This is not good. Kid is scared. I have heard that beastkin are sensitive to magic. They can see the amount of magic in a person. I'm sure she sees me as a monster. I fought to keep calm and managed to keep the magic from leaking out. I'm sorry I scared you. It's just that my abilities are giving me more magic. Are you okay? My teacher is a great person, isn't he? Kid's expression changed and her eyes lit up. Amazing. Does she really see me that way? I have checked my stats again. Let's hope nothing weird is happening again. Skills. Wait, what is this? The skill levels have gone up by leaps and bounds. They usually stop when they reach level 10. I am not sure if this means that the limit has been broken or not. Does this mean that the level limit has actually been broken? I'm breaking out in a cold sweat. There are still 2 weaker saving skills. I wonder what will happen when they are evolved. Will I reach a point where I no longer have control over my powers? You look pale. Are you okay? Oh, yeah. No problem. I was just thinking. For now, I'll just focus on KT. That reminds me, I still need to buy some scissors. Is there anything else you want? No, nothing. Are you sure? You can tell me. I'd like some soap. I'll buy you as many as you want. I'm sure she'll be happy to know that the inn has a hot water bath. While we're at it, I'll take care of bathing KT. On the way back, I bought the scissors and soap. Our room is equipped with a bathroom. We took the best room for both of us, so it seems to have everything you need to be comfortable. Then there was the matter of KT who didn't want to take her clothes off. Are you sure you want to go in together? Sure, you don't have to worry. I'm not the type to be attracted to a child's body. Ugh. Child? Why do you look like you're about to cry? She bit her lower lip and held back her tears. I don't know what to say. I have no idea how to handle women. I wonder if I said something strange. As I tilted my head down, I quickly took off my clothes. Huh? This time she covered her eyes with both hands and her face turned red. However, she kept looking at me between her fingers. Is she at a delicate age? She reluctantly turned around and began to take off her clothes, then entered the bathroom, carefully covering her body with a towel. I said, sit down here. I'll wash your head first. I can't let you do that, master. Just sit down. This is an order. Well, she sat with her back to me. Her back was white and shiny. I said that I could not be a lustful person with KT since she is a child, but even so, I could not help but be surprised. After all, KT is still a woman. I started washing her hair with soap. Her dull hair began to regain its shine once all the dirt was removed. Once I was done with her hair, I started washing her back. Suddenly, my eyes went to her waist. You can see something like a ball of white hair growing there. Is this the tail? It looks like a rabbit, but it feels different. What race do you belong to? I am a fox. Foxes. I have never seen one, but I know they exist. I think I've heard that fox tribes usually have golden hair. It seems that I was unknowingly washing the area around her breasts. I quickly gave her a towel. It's okay, I don't mind. If that's what you want, master. Does that mean I can wash your whole body? Yes, my body belongs to my master. Her eyes were wet. She knew that this would happen, that a slave would give herself in many ways to her master. She must have been prepared to face this possibility from the moment she was bought. I see. I'll think about it when you're older, master. She placed her hands on her face as she wept. She must be relieved that I will not do anything to her. There are two kinds of wolves in this world, those who cannot be reasoned with and those who can. I live my life thinking that I am the latter one. I washed up and got out of the shower. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. Sat in her chair and became nervous. She was going to get a haircut. Her hair, once washed, was very soft and shiny. She said she would cut her bangs herself, so I would take care of the back. Her hair was so long that it went all the way down to her waist. I cut it so that it would be a little higher. She said she wanted it that way, so I think I complied with her request. Personally, I think it's okay to cut it a little longer, but she prefers long hair, so I'm not going to argue with her. Well, Kd is pretty, so I think she looks good with either long or short hair. Kd grabbed the scissors and cut her bangs at the bottom of her eyebrows. A pair of big golden eyes appeared. I had no idea you were such a beautiful girl. I think I'll lose control. As she tried to cut her hair at the sides, her hands kept shaking, while his face was very red. I don't think it's good to praise her at this point. Once she finished cutting her hair, my eyes could not believe what I was seeing. She was the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. She is like a white jewel, delicate and fragile. She's a beauty that will definitely make everyone look at her. It looks like there are still some uncut parts left. Those are my ears. There were 2 lumps on the top of her head. When I touched them, they moved. Then my doubts increased. Why does she have ears like a beast, but also human ears? It was about time I got some answers. I do not know the exact reason, but according to one theory, the god who created the beast tribe loved the ears of animals very much. On the other hand, he is said to have thought that human ears were too valuable to be taken away as well. So, those are God's fetishes? It seems so. I don't know what to think. I mean, the rabbit tribe and the cat tribe are cute. But God's pretty snobby, isn't he? After cutting her hair, exhausted, went to bed. She's still not fully recovered. I'm sorry I pushed you so hard today. Master, I had a lot of fun today. That's good. We will have more fun tomorrow. Yes, master. I will be with you every step of the way. I gave her some medicine, and helped her get to sleep. She fell asleep as soon as she closed her eyelids. I think we've come a long way just today. At this rate, we will be good companions for adventure. I sit in my chair and pull out my sword. I'm going to have to sharpen you again. I've been putting a lot of pressure on you. An unpleasant sound appeared. But the source of the sound was not me. It was the sword. Picky 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 go-oon. A crack appeared in the middle of the blade of the sword, and it broke, falling to the ground. Suddenly my eyes widened. No, my beloved sword. I knew I had taken it too far. With this sword, I have killed many enemies, including dragons. I think these are the consequences of going too far. I carefully put it on the table and bent my head. I loved that thing. I can't believe it broke. I'm going to have to find a new sword soon. Could it be that it couldn't stand my current strength? It is possible. It's hard to believe that a steel sword can withstand the power of a 300-level warrior. In fact, it's a miracle that it didn't break right after the dragon was defeated. I need to get a more decent weapon. A better weapon that can withstand my current strength. The next day, I returned to the inn and took a deep breath. What happened? The old man in the store got angry with me and charged me extra for the repairs. What did you? A broken bar? I broke the sword. I went to the armory for a new sword, and I took what I thought was the strongest sword in the tent and hit it as hard as I could. To be honest, I was still underestimating my strength. Suddenly the wind whipped up the tent and all the weapons were scattered. The big sword I was holding broke in half and was nailed to the wall. The angry old man demanded that I pay for the repairs to the tent as well as the sword, and I had no choice but to do so. Now that I think about it, I was a terrible swordsman. I was so bad that the bodyguards had to protect me at all times. And now, with this great power, I will not be able to function as I wish to with ordinary weapons. After sitting on the bed, Kid considered something for a while and then spoke. I have the perfect weapon for you, Master. Really? Where is it? In the temple of the sacred weapon. And that is located in a broken bar? Kid nodded silently as she placed her hand on her chin. I don't know what she's thinking, but the sacred weapon is a special empowered device used by heroes and the heroes' companions. It's unheard of for a simple adventurer like me to have one. I'm not sure what to do with it, but I'm sure it's worth a shot. After all, I don't think it's a bad idea. I am sure that Master will succeed. I doubted. We left the inn and decided to head for the temple. It's been half a day since we left the border town of Livio. We arrived at the temple where it is said that the sacred weapon is kept. It is huge. It is a temple that is said to have been built by the gods. A huge structure of pure white color towered before us. The divine atmosphere it emanates makes me want to worship it. The doors of the temple are very well closed, and there is no human figure anywhere. There are 2 tests to obtain the sacred weapon. The first is to open the closed door, the second is to take the weapon out of the pedestal. You must first open the door. But how can you have such knowledge? Even I do not know that much about it. Well, I knew someone who knew about these things. I see a broken bar. Foo. I would like to offer all my gratitude to the person who gave such knowledge to my slave. Without it, I do not know what I would have done. It is thanks to them that I can challenge this place. I went over and knocked on the door to open it. Vroom. A mysterious sound resounded, and a wave of light spread throughout the place. The door begins to open silently. Yes, it's open. Congratulations. After all, you are my master. Inside, it is dimly lit and there is only one passage that leads to the back. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The torches that were placed in the corridor began to light up one after another in a row, reaching the depths of the temple. It's as if someone called out to us saying, come on now. We entered the place, walking along the long and extensive passage. At the end of the corridor, there was a large room containing a pedestal with a sword stuck in it. So this is the sacred weapon. But it is a one-handed sword. It is said that sacred weapons change in size and shape to suit their owners. I am sure that the teacher will turn it into a great sword. I suppose that's all right. The beautifully decorated sword seemed to shine brightly. The light shines through the stained glass windows at the top of the room, and the whole room seems to be filled with a pure air. Okay, it's time for you to get out of there. I grabbed the handle with all my might. Whoa. The sword was surrounded by a dazzling glow. Scared, I fell off the pedestal and hit myself hard on the back of the head. It was a broken bar. Master. Something was being held in my right hand. It was rather obvious what it was. I pulled it out. I pulled out the sacred sword. The sword in my hand is wrapped in golden light and changes its size and shape. It was a great sword, more than a meter long. A few seconds later, the sheath appears out of thin air and covers the blade. This is very good. It's important to have a good idea of what you're doing. Thank you for that. I was worried about whether I should take it out in the open. In any case, I now have a weapon that I can handle properly. Congratulations, Master. No, thank you. If you hadn't told me about this place, I'd be lost. No. I'm sure the Master would have come here on his own. He is the chosen one who is meant for the sacred weapon. That's too much praise. Now I can go on an adventure with you, Master. I'm glad you're willing, but how's your condition? I have already recovered to the point of being almost totally healthy. I think it's about 70%. I even think I can fight now. By the way, Do you have any combat experience? I'm not as good as an adventurer, but I have the skills to protect myself. I think I'll be able to debut as an adventurer sooner than I expected. When I get to the next town, I think I'll sign up for a guild and start to party. Broken bar. I think I'm forgetting something. Surely it's not important, now that I have my sacred weapon. We got into a carriage, and traveled through the mountains and forests. The next town is Luntata, which is further down the road. Luntata is a town known for its many adventurers. There are also taverns and brothels. The adventurers are bloodthirsty and spend a lot of money. So naturally, wherever the adventurers gather, the liquor and women are also present. As soon as we entered the city, Ed was frightened. She was surprised to see a drunk man lying in the street. This place reeks of alcohol. That's right. This place is full of alcohol. But there is no shortage of good drinks and entertainment. That's what you have me for, master. You don't need to go to those places. What do you mean by that? You are broken bar. For some reason, her face turned red and she was looking down. Of course I knew what she was saying. It's fun to tease, but I'm not in the mood for that, so I won't go to those places. I still can't get over what happened with Lisa. In a way, it's great to be single again, since I don't have to worry about going to those places. Okay, but first I'm going to the guild to register. I made my way through the guild, which was full of tough guys, all their party, and I went to the reception where a beautiful woman was working. How can I help you? I want a registration application for this girl. That will be 10,000. The registration fee is as high as ever. Guilds always despise their adventurers from the beginning, don't they? The receptionist gave us a document to enter your personal information. Can you read? Yes. No problem. She took the pen and started writing quickly. She is a very beautiful girl when you look at her from behind. I thought she was polite up to this point, but she's surprised me a lot in every way. She looks so different from when I first met her, with those worn out, dirty clothes. Well, this will do. Please wait. After receiving the document, the receptionist got up from her seat and returned a few minutes later with the card. It is a common adventurer's card. It is made of metal and has your information written on the front. It can also be used as an identification card, and is always needed in cities with restricted access. By the way, the ranks of the adventurers are D, C, B, A, and S in ascending order. It is said that the SS rank exists, but I think it is just a rumor and it is not real. My personal rank is B. I used to be treated similarly to an S because my party was an S rank, but since I was kicked out, I am treated as a B rank. As I lost myself in thought, Kid continued to have some sort of conversation with a staff member. When I bent down and saw her again, she had a twinkle in her eye for some reason. I hear there's a dungeon in this town. Oh, that's right. This is a city that is surrounded by them. We could go together. I'll be a big help. I am looking forward to it. I then caressed Kid's head. She looked happy with her rose-tinted cheeks. Since tomorrow is her debut as an adventurer, she will no longer be just a slave. I also have to give it my best. And at that moment, I didn't even imagine what would happen next. The bed wouldn't stop squeaking. I was on top of Lisa, Toru's ex-girlfriend, and Sora were passed out nearby. I can't take it anymore. What? Are you done? I pushed the fainting Lisa aside and sat down on the edge of the bed. I turn around and look at the three girls in the bed, and I laugh. It feels so good. It's a good feeling to play with the women I stole from Toru. The face that guy made was a real masterpiece. It's funny, no matter how many times I remember it. The woman he thought he loved betrayed him and threw his ring at him. How stupid do you have to be to have that happen to you? Lisa was mine a long time ago, and she didn't seem to realize it until the end. Not only Lisa, but Nansora were in love with Toru. I feel sorry for both of you. How can you betray the person you love without your love being fulfilled? I whispered to Nansora. It's time to get down to earth. Lisa and Sora have no feelings for me. They are only convinced of that feeling because of a certain ability I have. The demon eye of seduction, a rare ability that makes the opposite sex fall in love with you. When this ability manifested, I rejoiced from the bottom of my heart. Let's be honest. I am better than anyone else. A man whose body, intelligence, character and abilities are impeccable in every way. But for some reason, Lisa and Sora chose Toru. Not only that, but even though the people of the town and this city loved me, the reality is another. They were all happy to talk and be with Toru. I was very jealous. I thought my head was going to explode with rage. And then, I got the best skill. Lisa, who refused at first, was completely captivated. Now I train her to my liking and play with her every day. The days of hiding and playing with her were fun, but it also feels good to be able to fuck her all I want without worrying about it. I'm doing so much more now that I don't have that pathetic Toru here. As a hero, I have been given the mission to fight the Demon King. The Demon King is a kind of disaster that appears once every 100 years. It is common for them to emerge from the demon tribe, but sometimes they come from inside people. I must obtain the sacred weapon that exists on the continent and win the battle against the Demon King. It is very troublesome, but the fame and money I will earn will be enormous. I have already been approached by a nobleman who wants to participate. If we succeed, we can fuck all the girls we can get our hands on, or even the princess of this country. My life is great. Toru, you'd better be ready to see Sane's name go down in history. Ha 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 ha. Huh? The dragon has been slain? I was surprised to hear Mr. Libyan's story. I had reached a remote area in a neighboring country, but there was no sign of the red dragon, which was my target. I am very sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. No, I was just a little surprised at how sudden this news was. But who killed him? I don't know who killed him. When I went into the woods to investigate, I found that the red dragon was dead. I gritted my teeth silently as I listened to the Lord's story. An immense anger was growing inside me. Killing that dragon was supposed to be my spectacular debut as a hero. I was meant to save the town close to where that dragon was hiding. But now, all my plans have fallen apart. I don't know who you are, but you're going to pay for making a fool of me. After having a proper talk with the Lord, I left the mansion. Sane, are you angry? No, I am not. Hey, why don't we forget about the dragon and go do something nice at the inn? Will you shut up? I wonder who defeated the dragon, since it's an opponent that ordinary adventurers can't even approach. It doesn't matter anymore. The people are now at peace, and I'm disappointed. For now, let's change our plan and move on. Yes, next time I will put on a great show. After all, I will get the sacred sword, and it will be my final seal as a hero. It is already clear that I am qualified to get the sacred sword. Although it bothers me that I did not kill the dragon, I can show the world that the hero has appeared wielding such a majestic and powerful weapon. The dragon was just a bonus. The real target is the temple of the sacred sword located in Livio. No. Did someone take the sacred sword? When I entered the temple, I was dismayed to see that the sacred sword, which was supposed to be on the pedestal, was not there. I am sure it was here. If the person who possessed the sacred sword dies, it will automatically return here. And the death of the previous holder is accurately recorded. That's why it should be here. Calm down, Sane. Shut up, you fucking bitch. I pushed Lisa and kicked her face when she fell to the ground. Don't you dare get up. I'll kill you. I'm sorry. I can't stop being frustrated. None of my plans are working. Since Toru and I split up, for some reason, my plans have failed, and things used to go exactly the way I wanted them to. Since Toru left, no, that's not possible. He was nothing but a burden. What stands in my way is something on a much higher level. I will kill you when I meet you, whoever you are. The sacred sword belongs to me. I changed my plans and decided to take a trip to Luntata. There is an unexplored dungeon with a high degree of difficulty. If you make it to the end, your name will be spread quickly like a hero. However, my plans fail me yet again. A dungeon? There was something like that last month. The adventurer whom I asked for directions answered with a vague look on his face. His answer was incomprehensible. Not knowing what it meant, I went to the place where the dungeon would be. What is this? In the center of the city, there was a huge hole in the ground. I don't know how deep it is. It was too dark to see the bottom when I looked in. What happened here? I was so surprised that I fell to my knees. Early in the morning, after preparing our equipment, We went to the dungeon. How do you feel? I'm fine. Thanks to the medicine master gave me. Kid's complexion looks much better. It's very different from when I saw her in the slave shop. She's like a different person. If she fights as well as she looks, then we'll make good money today. Luntatta's dungeon is in the center of town. Adventurers dive into a vast subway dungeon and make a living collecting materials from defeated monsters as well as fallen equipment and items. On the lowest level of the dungeon, there is a nuclear stone. The nuclear stone is famous for giving clear rewards to those who reach it. You won't know what you'll get until you reach it. However, in most cases, you will get valuable materials, rare items and other things that can be worth a lot of money. Even if you are able to gain more skills, you can see why I'm interested. When we arrived at the entrance, we did a final check. We will limit ourselves to 1 level. It's okay. How high is yours? 8. So, we'll only be here until we get to level 3. If we're still in good shape when we get to level 3, maybe we can make some more progress. So, let's get started. It has been an hour since we started exploring the dungeon. Kid's skills were quickly becoming evident. Spinning blade. Juan, with a simple movement of her iron fan, Kid's wind blade cut the rat monster. I had heard that she could use magic, but her sense is even better than I expected. Short activation time, quick judgment, high hit rate. Lisa was also a skilled magician, but Kid can be even more so. Oh, I'm already level 15. What? Wait a minute. We've been here an hour and she's gone up 7 levels. That's crazy. No matter how easy it is for the lower levels to move up, it's an impossible speed for common sense. It seems that when I'm with you, Master, I can level up very quickly. No, that shouldn't be. I was about to say, no, that shouldn't be possible, but then my mouth stopped and something occurred to me. I mean, that's the only thing that could cause it. Open stats, skills. Perhaps her sudden increase in levels is due to their experience multiplier, skill. I don't know how to use it, but apparently it was an automatic activation type skill, and it seems that it was doubling the experience value acquired to Kid for every monster she kills. If one were to level up at this rate, it could be quite troublesome. Just thinking about Kid's level a month from now is terrifying. Soon I will be strong enough for my master. I will do my best. Well, when you see a beautiful slave who is so excited, there is no way you can tell her to stop. This girl is trying to be strong for me, and it's about to happen. So I changed my plans and decided to go to the 3rd level. Let's go as far as we can today. After that, Kid's level continued to rise at a frightening pace. By the time we reached the 3rd level of the dungeon, she had reached level 30. The magic that was released was an order of magnitude. Blizzard blossom. Enemies in the stone corridor freeze in the blink of an eye. A beautiful ice flower bloomed and annihilated them. She skillfully manipulated the iron fan as if she were dancing, and with a simple click, the fan went from open to closed. I guess you're unbeatable at this level now. No, I'm still not strong enough to protect my master. I want to be much stronger and be of help as soon as possible. Kt said those words with bright eyes and a smile on her face. She's too motivated to stop now. You must be tired by now. We've earned enough materials and items, so let's go back. Yes, I suppose so. We'd better call it a day. I felt relieved inside. In fact, my backpack is already about to burst. It will be hard to keep going. What is this? Kid picks up a dirty rag. I thought it was just trash, but then I looked at the surface of the cloth and was surprised. This is a rare magical storage item. Maybe it can fit any size of luggage? No doubt. I'm familiar with this magic embroidered circle. I remember it well because I had it in my previous group. You put what you want on the cloth, and it will keep it stored for you. If you buy it directly from a store, it will cost you at least about 10 million. Depending on the storage space, the price can go up dramatically. I unfolded the fabric and checked the corner. There should be an embroidered number. It will tell you how much storage it holds, and how many items it has inside. 100. This is a very rare item. Even the one from my previous group had a maximum storage space of only 20. Master bent over the cloth with a smile on her face. I knew exactly what she meant. Now we can go further. I guess that's what she's trying to say. Number. We have little food and water left. If we don't go back, We will starve. I see a broken bar. You're right. I'm sorry. Her face blushed a little. She seemed embarrassed. I guess she realized she was being a little selfish, and was not aware of what was going on. But I'm not angry. It's a common thing for newcomers to fall into. A little bit more, just a little bit more, and then they go too far to the point of no return, and they get annihilated. Adventurers must always be aware that their lives are at stake. If you can't do that, it's because you're just a rookie. There is no need to rush. You still have many opportunities to raise your level. Yes. I put my backpack in the magic storage. Then the luggage was absorbed and disappeared. All I have to do is fold the cloth and put it in my pocket. Now, let's go home. Yes. Kid took care of the monsters that were back in the dungeon. It's easy for me to just watch. Of course, if necessary, I will fight, but for the moment, I don't think I have to. There is no enemy in this place that can match her. By the time we reached the surface, Kid's level had reached 40. It went up 32 levels in one day. It's crazy. That includes my skills. I go up so many levels every day, it's hard for me to keep up. Once I was in town, I sold the materials and items we collected. The current income is 120,000. That's a lot for our first time. After that, we went into a tavern and I ordered a lot of food. Master, this meat is delicious. Eat a lot. You deserve it for all your hard work. Yes, Master. Thank you very much. You don't have to thank me. Watching Kt eat a whole roast turkey by herself was fun. She shared a little with me and I filled my stomach. I had a hard time with all the shit I went through, but after meeting Kt, every day is better. Maybe this was better for me than I thought. I'll have a quiet trip with this lovely slave. I'm sure we can fill the hole in our hearts sooner than we think. What level will we go to tomorrow? I wonder how much she will grow. With these thoughts in my head, we both return to the inn. Master, wake up, Master. What's the matter? It's still early. I sit as Kid shakes my body and calls me over and over. Looking out the window, I see that the sun has just risen. The orange morning sun stings my eyes. A white spot enters the edge of my vision. Finally, my eyes adjusted and I looked again at Kid near my bed. Ah, look, Master. I woke up and I was like this. No way. It's true. What do we do now? Before my eyes was an adult Kid with big ears and a tail. Before me stood a girl with bright white hair that reflects light, and fox ears that remain upright. Her clearly uneven body is wrapped in a pure white sheet. From her tight waist and well-formed backside grew a long, soft white tail. Every time she blinks, her long white eyelashes sway, and her golden eyes gaze at me with excitement. You act right? Yes. What happened to you? Well, when I woke up, I was already like this. We must clarify this situation. Until yesterday, she was a pretty little girl. And now, she's a big, beautiful woman. No, number. This doesn't make sense. It's not normal, no matter how you look at it. Maybe it's because of the sudden rise in levels. What does that mean? I heard that when a child reaches over 20 levels, they grow quickly overnight to balance out their body with their levels. Physical balance. It is not impossible. She even changed races because of her sudden increase in level. It's entirely possible that her body has changed to adapt to her maximized power. But I didn't expect her to grow up overnight. Besides that, she is a very captivating beauty. I feel like I can't laugh and say she's just a kid. Honestly, I'm pretty sure I'd fall in love with her if she came onto me seriously. Put your clothes on now. Why are you naked? About that. She began to pick up her torn clothing. Oh, I see. Of course that would happen. I have no other choice. I'd better go to the clothing store and buy her something new right away. I got out of bed and got some clothes out of my backpack. Put this on. Your clothes, Master? Don't say it like that. Gulp. She swallowed her spit and took them. Then she buried her face in the clothes and began to smell them. Ahwa, are you okay? She began to wag her tail with a look of ecstasy on her face. It's kind of embarrassing that she's smelling them so much. I'd like you to put those on right away. I turned around and waited for her to get dressed. You can look at me now. When I turned around, I saw Kd wearing my shirt, and the sleeves were so big that they even covered her hands except for her fingers that stick out a little. In addition, her large, well-formed breasts stood out in perfect view, making her visually attractive. Now begins a fierce struggle within me between my instinct to walk away, or to pounce on her. To reduce the visual excitement as much as possible, I made her wear tight pants and a hooded cape on top. After that, I left the inn with Kt in search of new clothes. In the end, Kt got clothes that fit her. However, the lady at the store was very angry with me. After all, I arrived at the store's entrance early in the morning when it wasn't open yet. I woke the old lady up and explained the situation and managed to get all kinds of clothes for her. We had to drill several holes in them because of Kt's tail. Kt, in her new clothes, turned in front of me so that I could see her from head to toe. She is an adult adventurer no matter how you look at it. Every time her short skirt floated smoothly with each turn, something inside me would stir. What do you think, Master? It suits you. Hee hee. The way she blushes with shame reminds me of young Kt. Even though she's grown up, she hasn't changed on the inside, has she? By the way, I'm going to give Kt a new iron fan. From the way she fought yesterday, I think she could even handle 2. With this, she will be able to attack twice as many times. Kt, who has become an even more powerful mage, has much more potential now. Is there anyone in this city as beautiful as she is? She is so beautiful. I want to slave like her. You can hear voices from everywhere admiring the beauty of Kt. All the men on the street turn to look at her, and even the women look at her with envy. Kt may have a collar around her neck, a sign of slavery, but even that has become a tool to enhance her beauty. If they had to choose the most beautiful woman in this country, it would be her. Today I will earn a lot of money for my master. No, you don't have to worry about making money. We have enough money from killing the dragon, so let's prioritize your leveling. That's why I bought lots of food and water. Master. Kt's eyes welled with tears of joy. Yesterday I made it so that she couldn't go up as much as she wanted to, so today I'm giving her more freedom. The stronger she is, the easier it will be for me. I will let her level up as much as she wants. When you reach the 4th floor, the difficulty level rises a little. The monsters that appear become much stronger. But compared to the adult Kt, they were just weaklings. Wind gust. The gust of wind generated by the 2 iron fans makes the enemies fly. Quickly, she finishes them off with her freezing magic. Her current level is 50. The appropriate level for the 4th floor is 15. So this is just a walk in the park. I have so much free time that I can't help but yawn. Are you tired? Oh no, I was so busy this morning that I didn't go to bed until my usual time. I'm a little sleepy. You can use my lap as a pillow, Master, so please rest. I used my magic to disappear the remains of the skeletons I had just defeated. I laid down a blanket, sat on top of it, then indicated that I could rest my head on her lap. It's hard to say no to her when she's very happy. I will just lie down for a bit. Okay. I lie down, and place my head on her lap. The sweet aroma and the soft touch of her skin that I felt on my head, made my eyes close completely. I think I'm going to sleep better than usual. An explosion rumbled through the place. It suddenly woke me up. How long was I asleep? Master, I hope you slept well. Thank you. Yes, I did. Huh? There were numerous defeated skeletons around us. I don't know the total number, but it can't be more than 20. I looked at Kt, and she was smiling happily. What was that? Those skeletons were about to attack us, so to save the master, I took care of them. I see. She stands up and gently cleans my body with her tail. It felt nice and fluffy coming in contact with my body. I wonder, what is this strange feeling? When I slept on her legs, it was as if my heart had been healed from everything. Maybe she has some special power too? Come to think of it, I haven't seen her stats properly. Huh? You want to see my stats? If you don't want me to see it, that's fine. I'm just curious. I'm your property, Master. I'll be happy to show you. Kt made the stats screen appear and turned it towards me. Skills. Probably due to an ability called Healing Wave. But it is a non-standard skill. I don't see anything strange, although some are. In particular, this, Increased Power, is a rare ability that once belonged to a very famous mage who made it into the history of mankind. This girl will be someone important. Can you see the abilities of others in the stats? It depends on the level. I haven't seen any unusual skills yet, so the saving skill is not yet identified. I was hoping to find out. Well, I have a pretty good idea of what works, so maybe I shouldn't bother investigating it. Do you want to keep moving forward? If my master wishes, I would like to. We still have enough supplies. We can move forward. We are heading to the 5th floor. We arrived at the 10th floor. By then, Kt had reached level 100. Jiao. 10 goblins on top of some wolves were blocking the way. Kt danced with her iron fans. Blizzard blossom. Pish. The passage is covered with ice. Wind slash. A strong gust of wind ran horizontally, splitting the goblin's body in half. That was very good. And raw. Not even Sane and his team could do something like this. You've been using your magic for a while now. Are you sure you can keep going? Yes. Thanks to all my leveling up, I have much more magic now than I did before. Okay, but take it easy. If you get tired, let me know. Suddenly, multiple steps could be heard coming from down the hall. Another 20 goblins had just appeared. Perhaps this is the area where they live. Since we reached the 10th floor, many wolf-mounted goblins have appeared. Kt felt that they were beginning to be too much trouble, so she unleashed a more powerful spell. Air bullet. Countless bullets of compressed air pierced the goblins. They collapsed, looking like Swiss cheese. Such terrifying magic. I feel sorry for the goblins who received it. Kt passed through the 10th level with some energy left over. We arrived at the 20th floor. Kt's level is now 150. It seems that the level rise has slowed down. Maybe it's just my imagination. It took us a day to get here. Normally it would take us 3 days, but surprisingly, everything happened very quickly. Besides, both Kt and I have extraordinary physical strength, so we came here without taking any kind of rest. However, as expected, after more than 24 hours, she began to feel a lot of mental fatigue. I suggested that we take a break and eat here quietly. Here you go. That's for you. Thank you very much. I held the bowl out and Kt took it. Normally, the slave would prepare the food, but unfortunately, she can't cook well. So I took on that role, as I'm used to doing. Well, I had a lot of fun, so there's nothing to worry about. Delicious. The soup you make, master, is magnificent. Is it? Well, I have often been praised for my cooking skills. Her white tail wagged strongly. I wonder if that thing is linked to her emotions. I often see it move when she is happy. I will ask if I can touch it next time. Oh right, I need to ask her something first. Hey, is there such a thing as a trick for doing magic? The base is the important thing. If you know the spell, you can cast it under all sorts of conditions, but if you don't, it's hard to do. So if you imagine a flame, will it come out of the palm of your hand? Actually, it would be better to try wind or earth type spells first. Bashuan. A bright red flash appeared from my right hand and went through the ceiling. A red circle has formed that was heating the ceiling. A fiery sound was heard, and the molten stone dripped onto the floor. If you look closely through the hole in the ceiling, you can see a dim but starry sky. In other words, the flash of fire I released just passed through 19 floors. A broken bar, a broken bar, a broken bar, a broken bar. Neither of us bothered to open our mouths, so we resumed our meal in silence. It is better to forget what just happened. I didn't do anything, and neither of us saw what happened. I'd better follow Kid's advice, and practice with the wind and the earth. That would be best. Finally, we arrived at the 29th floor. Kid's level was now 200. No longer a surprise. In fact, I was so excited that I wondered why I was so desperate for a 2-digit number. The enemies that appeared on the 29th floor were all opponents that even my previous group had not seen. Cursed skeletons, warrior orcs, ghosts, minotaurs. They were all frozen or cut into pieces before Kt. In fact, the difference in levels was so big, even the monsters could tell. Just by seeing her, they start running. Then we found the stairs to the 30th floor, and headed down. This is the 30th floor. Still no sign of the enemy. You are right, it is unusually quiet. The 30th floor was too quiet. In front of the stairs, there is only one passage that stretches on ahead. I wonder if this is the lowest level. But I can't be sure because I've never seen it before. Stay alert. Yes, I have heard that there are rare but powerful enemies called boss in the dungeons. If one is on this floor, we'd better get ready. We continue slowly through the passage and out into a large room. In the center of the room floated a vaguely bright blue crystal, which seemed to be spinning, but only slightly. The crystal is the core. Indeed, We have reached the final floor. You did it. We finally made it through the dungeon. I wanted to tell the excited Kt something like no, I haven't done anything. It was all accomplished by my lovely slave. It's amazing that someone completed it on only their second attempt. I think it's the fastest time on record. Master, it's time for you to touch the core. You completed the dungeon. Kt, you're the one who should do it. No, it is thanks to you, Master, that I have come this far. And since I am Master's property, all the credit goes to him. Since she's saying it like that, I'm going to accept her choice. Actually, it has always been my dream to touch the core of a dungeon. If you're an adventurer, you've probably wanted to get to the top floor of a dungeon and touch the core with your own hands at least once or twice. And how I'm an adventurer, and I've always wanted to do just that. Thank you, Kt, for allowing me this. When I touch the blue crystal, it emits a dazzling light. 8 tildes. Congratulations for clearing the Luntata labyrinth. You will now receive the following rewards. 8 tilde. 8 tildes. Notice, you will receive a ring of disguise X2 as your first reward. 8 tilde. 8 tildes. Notice, you will be given a dungeon owner. The glass shone dazzlingly, and my vision was tinted white. Master, what happened? We were at the bottom of a huge vertical hole. That big dungeon disappeared in an instant. Judging by the situation, we should have removed the dungeon, but I can't help but wonder where all those structures went. Huh? Master, since when do you wear a ring? A ring I don't recognize is stuck on the ring finger of my right hand. And if I looked closely, I could see the same thing on Kid's right hand. It may be the disguise ring that I received as my first reward for touching the crystal. Master, this is incredible. Do you know what it is? It seems that you can disguise your status by wearing this ring. Also, the ring itself has a level, and it seems that the more you wear it, the higher it will be. When I asked for details, it seems that you can raise it to level 3, and at level 1 you can disguise your status. At level 2 you can disguise your appearance, and at level 3 you can disguise your status and appearance simultaneously in front of any opponent. A very convenient tool for me while trying to figure out what to do with my status. I will be very happy to use it. Let's get out of here. Yes. Using rocks protruding from the hole's sides as a support point, we jumped up repeatedly. As soon as we reached the surface, we saw the remains of the dungeon. It's a huge hole, but there didn't seem to be any buildings remaining in it. It seems that they were pushed into the area where the dungeon used to be. Fortunately, it is midnight and there are no residents making a fuss about this situation. We should get out of here before everyone notices. And I left town that same night. It has been 2 days since we left Luntata. We are making our way through the mountains. My goal is to reach the next city, Inuk. It's a journey with no particular purpose, but I had some things I wanted to do. One of them is to visit places of interest. It is said that an advanced civilization once flourished in the world. The people who built the civilization were called the Great Race. It is still not clear why the civilization became extinct and disappeared, but remains of that time remain in many places. I wanted to take a look at those ancient ruins. After all, ruins are romantic, right? It's natural for a man to want to see incredible things done by incredible people. Since we are going on a long journey, we can't miss the sightseeing tours. Besides, the food of each place. Eating local delicacies is one of the best parts of traveling. Does your body hurt anymore? I am completely cured. Yesterday I finished taking the medicine, and from now on I will dedicate all my energy to helping the master. Moved her ears with an expression full of motivation. That body I first saw when I was weak is nowhere to be found. On the contrary, it has grown so much that it is difficult to look at it. By the way, we are currently disguised as status and our level is around 30. If someone were to look at us with a scroll of appreciation or an ability to value, we would be like any ordinary adventurer. By the way, Master, what is the name of our group? A name? I hadn't thought of that. It's usually the first thing I think about. I wonder what kind of name would be good. How about Maniou Brigade? And it'll just be you and me, right? Maybe more people will join us, like you and me. I see. I agree with that. Seems to be happy with the idea. And with this, we are a B-rank group, the Maniou Brigade. The purpose of the party, as its name suggests, is to wander. We're going to take a quiet walk around the world, and if we find a place that we like, you can plant our roots there. Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, how did you become a slave? Wait, what is it? In the middle of the conversation, points forward. One of the chariots was surrounded by bandits. Let's help. Yes, I knocked one of the men down with a blow to the head without drawing my sword. Was also very agile and put one of the men to sleep with a single blow. Who the hell are those? Hey, get those two. The leader of the bandits gave the order, then many started coming towards us. He exhaled with great intensity, and all the bandits were amazed. And then all of them turned in the air and crashed into the trees with such force that they were unconscious. It also burst the tips of the bandits' chins with her iron fan being closed. They fell unconscious by the tremor that shook their brains. We defeated 10 opponents in less than a minute. They were no match for us. Their levels are about 10. They are very weak. Is everyone okay there? A few moments later the door to the carriage opened. I don't know who they are, but thank you very much for your help. It was a woman in a pink dress. Her golden hair flowed softly like silk threads, and her slightly drooping eyebrows gave her a soft impression. Also, what is striking is her big breasts. Every time she moved, they swayed so much that my eyes were involuntarily attracted to them. Master? With a pale face, Ed was surprised. No, you can't blame me. I saw her involuntarily. Anyone who had seen her would also have been mesmerized by her breasts. The woman bowed her head as if she didn't understand our interaction. She looks like a noble lady, and I'm glad I wasn't rude. I can't tell you that I was distracted because she has big breasts. Ed approaches me with a little moan. Sorry I didn't introduce myself earlier. My name is Marianne, daughter of Count Roan. I would like to thank you for saving me from those bandits. I am Toru, an adventurer, and this is my slave. So, Toru-sama? Marianne looked at me with a vague expression on her face. It is uncomfortable. She is staring me in the face. I wonder if there's something wrong with my face. She shuddered and suddenly took my hand. Why don't you come with me to the mansion? I'd like to reward you. You can both come with me in the carriage. She squeezed my hand and took me with her into the carriage. Count Roan is the lord of the next city we're going to, and his daughter is a kind of princess. Oh man, I'm getting nervous all of a sudden. I've always been bad with aristocrats. I have to make sure I don't get into any trouble with them. I'm so surprised at you two. You're so strong. Well, not so much. Yes, we are. After all, the master is the chosen one. The chosen one? Chosen for what? Hey, don't say things like that. Suddenly, Marianne showed a strange interest in me. Of course, I thought I saw his eyes light up. Where was Toru-sama going? We were on our way to Inuk before we ran into you. So, it seems that it was convenient for both of us to have them invited to my home. If you want, you can stay over tonight. No, thank you very much for the invitation, but I cannot abuse your hospitality. You're wrong. He looked at the person next to him, a quiet woman in a maid's uniform with slanted eyes. She was Marianne's maid. She took one look at Kt and me and didn't say a word. Somehow, I think she's trying to say, if that's your wish, miss. From the looks of it, it won't be a problem for us commoners to stay there. To tell you the truth, I only once wanted to spend a night in a nobleman's mansion. I can take this opportunity to experience it. I wouldn't mind, but what do you think? I will follow my master wherever he goes. So you are free to decide. Well, then, I think we have an agreement. We'll do our best to entertain you tonight, so please look forward to it. He was full of expectations. I'm sure there will be a feast like you've never seen before, and a luxurious, fluffy futon that you can't get at an inn. It will be a lot of fun. I can't stop being excited and excited at the same time. Here we are, in the city. Woo-oo. We were able to see the beautiful city from the window. Picturesque buildings line the street, and it seemed to have developed considerably. This is Inuk, the city of ruins. It is a city famous for tourism where many buildings from the time of the gods are preserved. We will enjoy it to the fullest as the main brigade. When we entered the city in the chariot, multiple leftovers moved through the underground. They were demons with malicious intentions. The light that shone in their eyes indicated that they were mocking us. Humans of Irnak, Fear the servants of the Demon King. Ha 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 ha. Disaster is imminent. The city of Inuk is full of picturesque and elegant buildings. On the main street, you can see a wide variety of stores, and I was fascinated by the people coming and going. The carriage passes through the heart of the city and goes directly to the deepest mansion. Once we arrived at the mansion, we entered the grounds through a large metal door. The well-marked path is so long that it is hard to believe that it is in a garden, and the lush trees cover it on both sides. When you think about the fact that you still can't see the mansion, you can't even imagine how big it is. This is the mansion of a nobleman. For me, who grew up as a commoner, it was something overwhelming. It's quite a big courtyard. Really? I think this is still one of the smallest of the upper class. Oh, but I have heard that our family has the largest mansion among the many count families. I see. There's no standard, so there's no way to compare them. If this is what you mean by small, I will believe you. I guess the world we live in is different from the world of the nobility. There it is. Finally, I could see the mansion through the window. It was a sturdy, ornate stone building. It has an elegant appearance even from a distance and suggests that a nobleman resides in it. Also, its gigantic size with 3 floors is overwhelming. I should be surprised to see this, so I turned to look at her, but as soon as I saw her face, I didn't notice any change. In fact, she seems quite disconcerted by my reaction. Maybe she's not interested in nobility, or she had so much money that this looks like a normal house to her. I'd like to believe that it's the former. The carriage stops at the entrance with a fountain. Immediately a person set up the stairs and opened the door. Marianne puts her feet on the ground with grace. She is a lady after all. Her every move is very elegant. Come on, Toru-sama. Well, Marianne takes the lead and enters the mansion. Welcome home, young lady. Suppose, is my father here? He's in his study, doing his job. Thank you. She exchanged words with the butler and then went up the stairs. A servant introduced himself to her and then bowed. I'm sorry it took me so long to introduce myself. I am the personal servant of Marianne-sama, Urara. I will now escort you to your rooms, so please follow me. I am Toru. Pleased to meet you. I am Kt. Urara took us to a large room, with a big bed and a big carpet. If it were an inn, it would be a space where 4 people could stay, but it seems to be a place just for me. I would be more relaxed if I stayed in the same room as my master. I'm afraid that's not possible. Marianne has asked me to prepare a separate private room for the 2 of you. If you have any requests, please consult Marianne. Then I have no choice. Kid quietly entered the room next door. Being alone in the room, I look at the bed again. I have to. Yahoo! I jump into the bed and my body bounces very gently. Springs inside the mattress make it softer to jump into the bed. It feels so good. I've always wanted to try a nobleman's bed. It's as soft as they say, and it smells so good. I'm glad I saved Marianne, although it was a matter of fate rather than choice. Fufu, you seem to be enjoying it very much. Whoa? Marianne was standing at the door. At what point? My face got very red with embarrassment. She saw me behaving like a child. I'd like to give Toru-sama a tour of the city, but he looks very busy. No, it's okay, I was thinking of going out anyway. Perfect, I'll wait here a moment, I'll call Kt-san. He bent over very gently and left the room. I can't wait to do some sightseeing. I want to buy a lot of things. We left the mansion with Marianne as our guide, and Urara as our companion, and were able to walk freely around the city. This is a remnant of a structure built by the Great Race. A crumbling stone wall suddenly appears in the city. His face was carved on the wall, and Marianne smiled at him happily. But would it not be careless to have only Urara as a companion? She is the daughter of a lord. Urara answered my question. Lady Marianne is loved by the citizens here. Anyone who dares to think about harming her will be captured by the people around her. Besides, she has me with her. You have a lot of confidence in yourself, don't you? I've been an S-ranking adventurer for some time now. When I looked at the face on the wall again, I saw Kt and Marianne peeking out of the holes in her face. These two get along very well. Kt-san, that store has a great reputation for having the most delicious sweets. Master, I want to try them. Kt's eyes shone after telling me those words. Oh, honey, you may look like an adult, but inside, you're still a child. I handed her the leather bag containing the money. Will you give me everything? No, It's just a small amount that's in this bag, but you can use it however you want. Thank you. In case you're wondering, I'm saving money for her. You never know what might happen in the future. And especially at this time, I want to strive to be a good master for her, because maybe the day will come when she will want to go away alone. I'm willing to free her from slavery if she ever wants to. After all, there is only one thing I want, and that is to fill the hole that is in my heart and feel relief again. When that is accomplished, and I am satisfied with myself, I am sure I will not have the need to get another slave. And it will be the day I forget Sane and Lisa. I will live a peaceful life. Toru-sama, look there. Wow, that's a big statue. It was a stone statue in the shape of a man standing in the center of the city. He wore heavy armor and held a sword in a heroic pose. That is the image of my father when he was young, the lord of this city. It embarrasses him, but I am proud to say that it is a very beautiful symbol. Yes, I think it is also a beautiful statue. Oh, you understand, Toru-sama. I've been working with the people of the city to create this statue for my father's birthday. The ground was shaking slightly. Could it be an earthquake? The tremor gradually gets bigger and the stone statue breaks with a roar. Woo! A strange growl and countless tentacles began to reach the people from a drifting cloud of sand. My lady. One of them tangled his tentacles with Marianne and dragged her into the cloud. The three of us were trapped in the middle without being able to move. There was a big hole where the stone statue used to be. Apparently, the enemy entered through the underground and kidnapped people at random. We don't know what he's after, but I bet if we chase him right away, we can get Marianne back in one piece. My lady, now I'm coming for you. I grabbed Urara by the arm before she jumped into the hole. Wait, we're coming with you. And what can you do? If you're going to look for her, you'd better have all the help you can get. And you know what we are capable of. You cannot refuse. You're right, so let's hurry. We have to rescue Marianne and the others. Urara agreed with my proposal, and nodded her head to indicate that she agreed with my idea. I don't know who did this, but I will make sure she regrets interrupting my tour of the city. The three of us approached the hole and looked inside. Where does this lead? Probably to the subway ruins. Actually, the city is built on top of huge ruins. So, there's a maze down there. Will we be able to find it? No problem. I've already captured Marianne's room. So, you can also track her down. That's my beautiful slave. Let's jump. Yes. I follow you. And the three of us jumped into the hole. The hole has a depth of 15 meters. The moment we land, we immediately put our backs into it and look around. Orb of Light created a sphere of light using her magic. We discovered that we were in a huge chamber made of stone. There are two huge stone statues of people on either side of the area that seems to be an entrance. The old and dilapidated state of the chamber was made noticeable because of the dust in the place. Besides that, there was a lot of debris around the place. Is that silt? On the ground there were traces of something slimy. These must be the tracks of the creature that took Marianne. If we follow the tracks, we should be able to find her. I'll go ahead. You stay in the middle and keep your light magic going. Urara, you guard the rear. Yes, master. Understood. I draw my sword, and we advance quickly. As long as we don't know where the attackers are or what they are up to, we should act calmly. Only after finding the enemy can we act more freely. Be careful, there's a hole. The structure of the ruins is very fragile. Some were crumbling, and I often saw plant roots going through the walls. Moreover, this place is as intricate as a dungeon, and although it is not very solid, it seems to be inhabited by demons. I ask Urara as we run through a narrow, dimly lit corridor. How big is this place? Well, I've been down here a few times, and there are 4 levels that I know of. But I don't know what kind of things might be living here. These ruins are extremely massive. Do you still have Marianne's scent? It's in the same direction as the slime trail. It may be a demon, but how far does it plan to go? Please don't let it be a place where all the demons are. Gudja, get out of the way. A goblin suddenly jumps out from the rubble, and I cut it down with one blow. I have no time for small fry. If you don't want to die, Embrace your fear and stay out of my sight. Uses her magic to freeze several slimes that crawled on the floor. Urara shoots some poisonous needles and kills some bug monsters that came out of the ground. You are very good. What is your job, assassin? Being an assassin is an unusual job, isn't it? And from what I've seen, she seems to be at a decent level. That girl Marianne, she has a very lovely appearance, and a lot of people around her. She really didn't need us to take down those bandits. The smell is getting stronger. It's close by. All right, get ready. A long passage led us to a bridge over a large waterway. At the end of the bridge there was a large, closed gate. The silt seemed to continue beyond that gate. Surely Marianne and the rest of the kidnapped townsfolk are the Zazazazaza. Multiple footsteps are heard, and armed demons appear from both sides, lined up in front of the door. They all had great physiques, well-marked muscles, and horns on their heads. You humans were very stupid to come here. You will have the pleasure of dying by our hands. The demon that was speaking began to give instructions to the rest of the demons, so he must be their commander. The rest of them shouted and drew their curved swords one after another. So, all this was the work of the demons. I have heard that the appearance of the Demon King has caused the activities of the demons to rise. But I never imagined that their base would be in a place like this. Wall of ice. Began to move her iron fans to create two walls of ice. A straight path to the door formed in front of me. Master, we'll take care of this. Please save Lady Marianne. I nodded silently at their words. I need to save Marianne as soon as possible. I am counting on you. And Urara. I ran down the road while clenching my fist to knock on the door. Gufufu, it seems that my pet's food has finally arrived. I have been waiting for you. In the middle of the vast room, there was a large slime monster that was probably 4 meters high. It has countless tentacles coming out of its back, and has more than 10 people hanging from it. So, you're the brilliant mind behind it all? In front of the monster there was a semi-demon, large and strong. The aura emanating from him was incomparable to that of the soldiers I saw before. There is no need to think about it much. This guy is the strongest one here. What was your purpose? Why did you attack the city? I don't have to tell you. But since I'm someone very nice, I'll tell you a secret. What? The tentacles of the monster reached out quickly and wrapped around me. Then it lifted me up into the air. This city is connected to the border city through a subway channel. If I manage to take over the border city, and at the same time Enoch, it will be much easier to take over this country. However, I have to get rid of the lords who live there. So, the reason you kidnapped Marianne was to make the Count of Enoch succumb to your power. Exactly. If such a beautiful girl is taken hostage, no one would try to do something as stupid as to claim her by force. Fufafu. Did he kidnap her and hurt the city's inhabitants because of something like that? There is no room for forgiveness. Ha ha ha. What's with that face? Can't you forgive me? Do you want to kill me? You're going to die. You and every other human in this city. I ripped the tentacle off with all my might, and fell to the ground. How pathetic is that? You think you're going to stop me with that? Are you an idiot? I'm a level 70 demon. You think you have a chance? You just made the worst mistake of your life. Oh yeah? And what would that be? You made me angry. Little by little I moved forward. The monster was taking steps backwards, his gaze denoting that he was not afraid. Explosives. Activate. More than 20 miniature explosives began to activate around me and exploded. The explosion echoed through the room and the impact violently shook the place. I thought this would be over quickly since I was good at hand-to-hand combat, but I guess I was wrong. I can't even get close enough to give him his due. At any moment he can activate his cloud ability and escape. Impossible for you to be unharmed. You are a monster. Hey, coming from you. Those words are hurtful. I'm a person. Damn it. Explosion, explosion, explosion. The magic released successively shook all the underground ruins. A roar reverberated and the debris fell from the ceiling. In the room, a great deal of black smoke moved like a mist. Gufu, Fufafu, I doubt you'll be alive after this. TOC, TOC. TOC. The sound of my footsteps frightened the demon away. When he saw me walking slowly behind the smoke, his expression was as if he had seen a ghost. He kept going back, but this time faster. Are you satisfied? Hey, who are you? Don't tell me you're the hero we've heard about. No, I'm just an ordinary warrior. You're lying. Now, let's get this over with. I run across the room very quickly and draw my sword. Slash. The bodies of the demon and the slime monster fell to the ground as if they were tree trunks cut off from the stump. The captive townsfolk are freed from the tentacles and fall to the ground. I quickly extend my arms to catch Marianne before she falls to the ground. She is unconscious, although it appears that she's otherwise uninjured. Master, we have taken care of the demon soldiers. Good work. Entered the room. I had faith that she would make it. My lady. Urara arrives a bit later and approaches Marianne, who is lying on the floor. It seems that she is also unharmed, although her clothes are a little torn. Don't worry, she's just unconscious. Thank you very much. It would have been difficult for me to rescue her by myself, but thanks to Toru-sama and Ktsan, the young lady is safe. Urara bows to us. Still, it is good that this whole situation was resolved without anyone dying. By the way, how do we get the rest of them out of here? Well, we could drag them out. I take a rope from my luggage and tie their hands and feet one by one, and then join them together on the same rope. This way, I can get them all out with one simple pull. Come on. Let's head back up. Yes. Those people don't look so good. I dragged them carelessly to the surface. When we returned to the surface, we were very well received by the inhabitants. No one was killed, and the damage was minimal. At best, one of the people we rescued fell hard on their ass. It seems that no one liked that the statue of the Lord was smashed, but all things will break one day. Also, many abandoned the idea that we were responsible after we returned with the citizens and the Lord's daughter. When we returned to the mansion, we were welcomed by the Lord, Count Roan. He has a slimber-toned body and sincere look. However, he also emanates a lot of dignity. Marianne, father. At the entrance to the mansion, father and daughter hugged each other tightly and were happy to be reunited. Toru-sama is amazing. He defeated one of the Demon King's servants with ease. A servant of the Demon King? Are you sure? He was one of the 6 generals. It seems that he was the weakest, but he was still one of the most important. I see, so they are starting to move a broken bar. To be honest, he was too weak. How strong do you have to be one of the 6 generals? Growl. Suddenly, my stomach began to growl. Come to think of it, I haven't had lunch today. After all that exercise, I feel even hungrier than usual. The Count set his sights on us. You are the adventurer who saved my daughter's life. I would like to express my deepest gratitude once again. Not once, but twice. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that Marianne is well. It's true. I can't imagine what would have happened if Toru-sama hadn't arrived on time. I guess this time we got lucky. All this happened because I met her on the road, and that way I was able to stay with her. It makes you wonder if all this happened because of a series of unfortunate events. Otherwise, she wouldn't be alive right now. Father, please. We have to give Toru-sama a grand reward. Allowing him to simply stay in the mansion does not make me feel comfortable, and the citizens will not accept it either. Of course, I will make sure that my daughter's saviors are well rewarded, and so will my people, but I am not sure what would please Toru-dono. I think a mansion and a knighthood would be more appropriate. My lord, forgive my intrusion. Urara interrupts the Count, and then looks at me. Was the demon you defeated truly one of the 6 generals? If so, then that changes things completely. Toru-sama, do you plan to go to the capital? Yes. Why do you ask? I see. Let's write a letter right now. A letter? What's going on? Urara also approaches Marianne and speaks to her privately. After listening to her, she looked at me and smiled. As for me, I don't want a knighthood or a mansion. I want to travel around the world without rushing, and I don't like the idea of staying in one place. I'll be happy even if I don't get a reward. Toru-dono, you can stay as long as you want. I'm going to let Marianne continue to guide you through the city. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some business to attend to. The Count re-entered the mansion very quickly. Dinner that night was a great feast, and the table was full of a variety of dishes. The highlight was a steak, and a mountain of fruit. I had never had such a thick, rich soup before. It's amazing how well a chef can make something so delicious with pumpkins. Look, you've got a little bit near your mouth. Oh. I wiped the sauce off Kid's cheek with my finger and then licked it off. Her face turned deep red. Thank you. She's grown a lot, and now she's strong. But she's still a child. Sometimes I wonder if she has recovered from her illness, and I even have doubts if she is uncomfortable with this trip with me. Toru-sama, what are you going to do tomorrow? If you plan to continue with tourism, I can help you. Marianne's words make me stop and think about my options. After all, I'm a little curious. I was wondering if I might have permission to explore the subway ruins. Why are you interested in such a place? As an adventurer, I am curious. It's like an unexplored dungeon. The ruins in this city are big and interesting, but I would like to explore the subterranean ones that are still intact. A subterranean ruin left behind by a great race of mysterious people. No matter how you look at it, it's full of mystery, which tickles a man's curiosity. And like any adventurer, I am also interested in treasure. I see. In that case, it would be useless to stop you. Then I will accompany you. It is the only way I can accept your request. My lady. You are also coming with me. My lady? Urara, who had been waiting nearby, reacted in a rather confused manner. That is something I can understand. Your beloved lady is about to go to a dangerous place from which she was just rescued. As her bodyguard, it is natural to want to stop her. As for me, I would prefer not to go with Marianne, but the subterranean ruins are under the control of the Count, and normally no one is allowed to enter without permission. I have no choice but to accept her conditions if I want to explore the ruins. However, seems to be against it. It wouldn't be the first time. In other words, it's a sign that you're trying to do something dangerous. But I have no other choice. I accept, Marianne. But there's something we have to clear up. You'll be protected by Kt and Urara at all times. I will take care of any problems that come up during the exploration, and if a situation arises in which your life is in danger, we will withdraw immediately. Do you agree with that? Yes, I agree. My lady, I hope you know what you're doing. In the end, Urara seems to disagree. Marianne seems to be the kind of person who does not listen to wise advice. That is what Urara's words imply. When the sun came up, we were in front of the mansion. Everyone was preparing and ready to leave. Urara was wearing a black suit instead of her maid uniform, and Marianne was wearing a full piece of armor. Why are you dressed like that? When I told my father about today, he said, I know you will be safe with Torudono, but just in case, take this with you. The Count is overprotective in a strange way. I thought that the Count would be demanding and would not allow her to accompany us. In that case I was planning to talk to the Count directly. When someone offers you his daughter so easily, you begin to wonder if there is more to it than meets the eye. No, number. To doubt someone is not a good thing. I know Count Roan won't like hearing this from me, but that armor is no good. In an emergency, you'd have to run on your own, and that's when it will be a hindrance rather than a help. I see, then I'll take it off. Nodding in disappointment, Marianne entered the mansion. She appeared later, dressed in light armor. At her waist was a thin sword, and she wore a hooded cape. It looks like a pretty good outfit. If she had something like that, I would have liked her to come with it from the beginning. I'm sure it was hard to say no to her father. We arrived at a closed staircase near the center of town. It seems that it was true that you can't go down without permission. If I had come down on my own, I would have been caught. Marianne took out the key and opened the door. By the way, the large hole that remains in place of the stone statue is being restored at a rapid pace, and it is not possible to get near it. Above all, I hesitated to go down that height with Marianne in my arms. So this time, we will use the stairs, which is the safest way. Come on, let the adventure begin. My lady. She makes it seem like she wanted to explore that place. It is what expresses the look of happiness on her face. Parky. We were walking down a long flight of stairs when I thought I heard a familiar sound. Beyond the top of the stairs was a dimly lit stone passage. Some of the walls were crumbling and the debris was evident. The air was humid and stale. Marianne pulled out a map, and quickly created an orb of light. Most of the first and second floors have already been explored, so the place to go is the third floor onwards. There are also a few danger zones, so please be careful. How dangerous are these places? To be exact, there are 2 areas that are very deteriorated and are inhabited by demons. We have not yet been able to explore them. I see. If we go to the next few floors, there's a good chance we'll find demons lurking around. We'd better ignore those and hurry down the stairs. That doesn't mean we have to limit ourselves, though. The chances of finding treasure should be greater if we explore this place for several days. It is decided. Today we explore the danger zones. But to ensure Marianne's safety, I will be the only one who goes in there. I'm sure I can put up a good fight. I wonder what the Count would think about what you just said. Ugh. I understand. Marianne bowed her head and nodded. Urara felt relieved and placed her hand on her chest. We started walking and decided to head to the nearest danger zone first. By the way, what's the name of the group? Maniou Brigade. Fufu. I can tell Toru-sama made it up. You can? I bowed my head, wondering what that meant. Kid walks up and stands beside me. Master, there's a strong smell of demons ahead. Can you evaluate them from here? They're a group of mushroom-type demons. Their evaluation ability is very surprising. It can be used to search for enemies, and even detect the true identity of targets. We continue along the corridor and reach the danger zone. There, more than 100 walking mushrooms were crowded together, and newly grown ones were sticking their tops out of the walls and the floor. The spores of the walking mushrooms are poisonous, so we cannot approach them without care. Maybe it'd be better to leave this place and go to another area? No, I think I can do this now. After all, I am level 300. I should be able to resist most poisons. You three stay here. I'll go alone from behind. Be careful. Kid shook her fluffy tail. Her hands were crossed in front of her chest, making her breasts rise. This sight seems to work better than any mushroom poison. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Don't take too many risks, Toru-sama. I know you're strong, but you shouldn't be too confident because of that. I see. 8 Marianne says those words to me as she grabs my arm. Her plentiful breasts rested on either side of my arm, their soft sensation making my brain stop thinking. Madame, you are right. Thank you very much. I rushed to kill all the mushrooms. Except for the poison, they are weak demons and are no match for me. If you step on them, they will be crushed. In a matter of minutes, all the walking mushrooms were eliminated. It seems that the poison has no effect on me. Perhaps dragonoids are a strong race after all. I went to the back and found a stone door. Upon pushing it open, it gave way to a small room. There were bottles, boxes and lots of garbage inside. Is it all rotten? No, it looks like it can still be used. I pick up a bottle and rub its surface with my fingers. The liquid inside is crystalline and does not smell rotten. But what is it? Some kind of medicine? It is said that restorative medicines of great purity can be found in ruins, even if rarely, so I guess it is the same kind of medicine. It would be great if it was a healing elixir for all kinds. Well, maybe it's nothing special. Not everything can be good. When I went back, the girls were happy to see me. How was it, Master? Was there something in the back? I found some things. There's this bottle. It seems to be some sort of elixir. There was also a locked box that seems to be promising. I didn't know there were still objects on this floor. Well done, Toru-sama. Marianne-san, you are standing a bit too close to my master. Pulls Marianne away from me by pulling her arms. I can't help but feel disappointed. The feeling of softness and warmth has disappeared. Suddenly, I feel a sharp look and my consciousness returns. Kid looked at me with a scowl. What? My master is mine. I see a broken bar. Is she angry? Well, I don't really understand a woman's feelings. Toru-sama, you need to show some male discipline. I suppose. Urara looked at me with narrowed eyes. What the hell is going on? There are 3 danger zones on the 2nd floor, one of which we have already completed. We went down to the 2nd floor and opened the map again to know where to go. There are danger zones here, and here is an area that hasn't been investigated yet. I guess this area is not much bigger than the 2nd floor. I was wondering, does this place belong to the old race? According to one theory, it was a subterranean fortress. It is not clear what kind of enemies they were fighting, but a lithograph has been found that describes the defense at this site. And I said wow in unison, as we were impressed. If it is a subterranean fortress that resembles a dungeon, then what exactly is a dungeon? So far I've immersed myself in them as a matter of course, but when I think about it, Those structures are full of mystery, aren't they? The other day, the dungeon we explored simply disappeared. I wonder where it went. By the way, Toru-sama, it's about time you taught me how to fight. Really? Not only I, but also Kt and Urara were surprised. I looked at Urara for confirmation, but she shook her head vigorously. The agreement was that we would come if you would join us, but you didn't say anything about teaching you to fight. Just a little bit, please. I am tired of being protected by Urara and rescued by Toru-sama. I am tired of being a weak girl. But please, please. She hugged me and pressed her chest against mine. I managed to keep my mind from turning to mush at the feel of her breasts against mine and focused on what I should do. If you want to get stronger, I can do it with my skills. But the problem is that you could get hurt. If something were to happen, it would be irreparable. The story would be different if there was at least one way to heal the wound. It can't be helped. Since Master is in this situation, I will make an effort to heal Marianne's wounds if she gets hurt. Can you heal wounds? Yes, my healing waves can easily remove even the toughest wounds. So there would be no problem. As a servant of the crown, I strongly oppose it. If anything should happen to the young lady, I'm glad you feel that way, Urara. But this decision was made with the future in mind. There is no guarantee that the demons will not attack again, and I have to become stronger in order to help my father. My lady, she is certainly right. If you have great physical strength, you are less likely to be caught by the enemy, and if you have a high level, you will not be hurt easily. You can even avoid situations like this. Let's train you, Marianne. Parky, a sound interrupted my words. 8 Snotis, since the LVL of labor savings has reached the upper limit, it will be paid when you move up the ranker. 8 Snotis, payment has been updated due to the effect of the skill effect upper. 8 Snotis, you have acquired the job title Dragon Knight. 8 Snotis, you have acquired the job title Master Tamer. 8 Snotis, you have acquired the job title Imitator. 8 Snotis, you have acquired the job title Great Thief. 8 I poured my magic power into the white beast egg. There was a feeling as if my magic was being rapidly absorbed, like a cloth soaking up water. All right, wake up quickly. 60 seconds later, 5 minutes later, 15 minutes later. All this time and still nothing. How long is it going to go on like this? It's been dormant for a long time, and I think it's a creature that originally possessed a lot of magical power. You mean it will take a while for it to regain its full power? Looking at Marianne and the others, they were busy storing their relics using magic storage. Forgive me, Count. I'm using your daughter to steal things from ancient civilizations, and of course, the same goes for Urara. When Marianne noticed my gaze, she wiped her sweat with her dirty hands and smiled. I hope you don't mind. I'm quite fond of this kind of work, and I'd like to have more access to the various relics. Fufu, the young lady likes antiques. You're just like your father, my lady, but I'm sure if you keep wearing those dirty clothes, he'll have a stroke. I don't have to worry about anything. All three seem to be having fun. However, how long do I have to keep injecting more magic power into this egg? Why not speed up the process and transfer all the power in one fell swoop? I stopped controlling my power and allowed it to flow unchecked. The surface of the egg became so thick because of all the power it received. Such incredible magic power. I can feel it even in my skin. Kt muttered in a cold sweat. The magic absorbed by the egg began to gradually diminish and finally stopped. The amount of magic power I poured was 30% of the total. And that was the first egg. I wonder how much the second one will need. It seems to be waking up. Now all that's left is to drip blood. I pull out a knife and press it against my fingertips. The tip of the knife did not penetrate my skin. No matter how hard I pressed, it couldn't hurt me. I thought it was a good quality knife. There was no other choice, so I drew my sword and cut the tip of my finger. As expected, the sacred sword is extraordinarily sharp. Blood drips onto the egg, and the next moment it is absorbed and disappears. Whisk, a kind of steam is released from the egg. The elastic shell, much like a peeled fruit, opened into 6 pieces from the top of the head. Inside it was something covered in mucus. It shook its body and opened its eyes. It was a round white creature. The surface of its body is covered with short hairs and a blue eye like a crystal ball. Observes the surroundings. The sensitively moving eye was immediately fixed on me. Huh? Is it floating? The creature began to float slightly. After that, it kept floating around me as it watched me. How cute. It's such a beautiful creature. I don't know what it is. It looks like a living cushion. Come here, I'll wash you. Cue. That was a squeak. It was shocked, while I grabbed some water from the bottle, and cleaned the animal until I got all the mucus off. Once clean, it looked even more like a cushion. Look, I can sit on it. The animal can support Kid's weight without any difficulty and still continue floating. Goonion. It then slightly changed its shape and became an oval. Maybe it's one of those animals that specializes in transporting people and objects. Master, maybe we should name it. That's a good idea. How about Panda? That's a nice name. I agree. I named it that because it resembles a piece of white bread. Panda seemed to like it, and squealed. Kayui, Toru-sama, we're done here. Oh, what a cute little creature. This is Panda, the creature that was in the egg. Come on, say hello to Marianne and Urara. Kayui. All 3 were excited for Panda. It's inevitable to be so pampered when you're so cute. I decided to wrap the other egg in a cloth and take it home. We returned to the mansion and informed the Count about what we had found in the ruins. You found so many relics in one day? You people never cease to amaze me. The antique objects were placed in a storage room. Some of the things we found appear to be armor or medicine, but there are also things that appear to be pretty common, such as clothing and vessels. Items such as jewelry and precious metals can be recognized as treasures at a glance. But I think the best treasure was the creature we revived from that egg. According to the Count, only a few of the confirmed pet eggs have hatched. He said most of them are still in storage and have not been awakened. It was fortuitous that we were able to find them. Master, here is a list of all the items. Thank you. I received a document from Kid with a list of all the objects found. I will choose only the ones I want to keep and sell the rest to the Count. A large amount of money is necessary if we want to have a smooth trip. And I want to save some money just in case. As long as you have plenty of money, the trip will be very pleasant. Looks like we brought some healing elixirs. The list of elixirs are as follows: recovery potions, high-grade antidote, body-strengthening potions, performance enhancement potions, energy recovery potions, and finally, magic enhancement potions. Elixir. I was so surprised, I felt like my eyes would pop out. There are 2 super rare multi-purpose recovery drugs. The magic enhancing potion and high-grade antidote are very valuable. They can be traded for extremely high prices. The Count shrugs his shoulders while lifting his hands. It's rare for elixirs to be marketed here. However, if you go to the royal capital, you have a better chance of selling them. To whom? The merchants or nobles? Both. I would recommend you auction them off. You'll make a great fortune that way. I've heard about that somewhere. It seems that the royal capital has an auction site where only aristocrats and wealthy merchants can enter. Beasts, information, weapons, and objects, everything is sold there in exchange for gold. I'm sure the elixirs will sell for a lot of money. It is quite intriguing. I will definitely look for that place when I get to the royal capital. I decided to keep the potions and sell the rest to the Count. And these are my items. The amount of money I obtained was 500 million. For the first time in my life, I saw a white gold coin. And there was a small mountain of them. People seem to have a strange bit of confidence when they have power and money. By the way, the second beast egg is not for sale. After all, I want to know what will be born from it. It can be a very useful creature depending on its ability. Kayui. Panda, wait. My lady, you can't go out like that. Panda was prowling the hallway and came into the room circling around me, and a naked Marianne appears a few seconds later trying to catch Panda. So this is where you ran off to. You still need a lot more cleaning first. Kayui. Your fur will be even fluffier when you're all lathered up and clean. Now come here. Panda hides behind me. I can't move. I've been completely frozen after seeing her like this. Even her father, the Count, let out a big sigh. Marianne, you are... I'm what? Master, Don't look. It appeared behind me, wanting to cover my eyes with her hands. I think it's a little late for that. I've seen all there is to see. My lady, the towel. Put it on. Huh? Kaya. When Urara entered the room, she covered Marianne's body with a bath towel. Marianne, who finally realized her mistake, ran out of the room screaming. I'm sure she was taking a bath because of how dirty she was. You wonder how I know she left the room? Maybe it's because I kept seeing her between K's fingers. I got to see something good at an unexpected moment. I think I'll sleep well tonight. It has been a few days since our arrival in Inuk. It's daytime. I yawn and stretch out by the window. It looks like it will be a sunny day today. It's a perfect day to continue our journey. We have been exploring the ruins and hunting demons a lot during the last few days. Thanks to that, Marianne has reached level 100. Even Urara also reached level 80. Both have acquired the strength of the hero class. There will be no opponent that can stand up to the two of them. I got dressed and left the room. Good morning, Master. Good morning. It was waiting for me in the hallway, and next to her was Panda. This is my favorite animal type, but just listen to Kt. I guess he is a male after all. I haven't seen anything that can define his sex, though, and it's hard to make a decision. Well, it's like a cushion and a pet at the same time, so it doesn't matter. I went downstairs and headed for the dining room. Marianne was sitting there. Good morning, Toru-sama. Good morning. I see you've gotten used to the way you look. Yes, it's strange that I've never had it before. Marianne had a small sword on her hip. It seems that in recent days he has made it part of his persona and carries it with him at all times. In addition, their former style, which was dressed like that of a high-class lady, has been converted into shirts and pants worn by adventurers. Even so, her beauty has not been compromised in the least. On the contrary, I now see her as more beautiful and attractive than before. Food was brought to my table and I quickly took a bite. Toru-sama, will you resume your journey today? I can stay longer, but I have nothing to do in this city anymore. Besides, I want to get to the royal capital to find the auction site. I even have a letter from the Count. I see. It breaks my heart to see Marianne so sad. We have become very good friends, but I want to continue exploring the world. There is still a hole in my heart for everything I went through. So I have to move on. I have to stop thinking about what happened and get over it. I'm jealous of you, Kt-san. Jealous of me? I would love to be able to go on an adventure with Toru-sama, to be able to get out of the house and explore the world. It would be a lot of fun. Marianne-san. Urara sighed and touched Marianne's shoulder. The two looked at each other and smiled. Even without saying a word to each other, the exchanges of glances clearly convey the feelings of both. She is the daughter of an aristocrat. Eventually she will be someone's wife. You do not have the right to choose the person you will be with. You will be like a little bird in a cage, being imprisoned, being watched every moment until that day comes. It is a blessing and a curse at the same time. No wonder he craves adventure. I pray that your future partner will be someone wonderful. I appreciate everything you have done for me. It is I who should be thanking you. Thanks to you my daughter is safe. In front of the entrance of the mansion, Marianne and Urara were with the Count for our farewell. Marianne's expression is dark. Don't be sad because I will come to see you again. But when I think about Toru-sama and Kt-san will have gone, I will be. It was heartbreaking to see her like this, and the atmosphere around her was as if she was about to help. Please do something, Marianne-san? Ran over and hugged Marianne. My master would never betray us or lie to us, so trust me. Will you come to see me again? Absolutely. I promise. I'm still jealous of you, Fufu. I bowed to the Count once again. He simply nodded without opening his mouth. It's time to go. Yes. The two of us left the city together. We continue our journey through the peaceful meadows. What's in that letter? I pulled the envelope out of my pocket and twisted my neck. It was given to me by Count Roan, but he did not tell me the details of its contents. I just wanted him to show it to a certain person. I know it was a reward for saving Marianne somehow. In the end, I got nothing. You should have given me the money instead of going through all this trouble. I don't understand what the aristocrats are thinking. We are alone again, Master. Yes, All is quiet again. Fufu was smiling. His big fluffy tail was swaying and he seemed to be in a good mood. Panda held onto the swinging tail and played with it. By the way, Master, what will you do with the other egg? Oh, I forgot. I was so focused on Marianne and the others that I didn't even think about it. We looked for a place where the sun was not so strong to sit. I took out the purple egg and put it on the floor. I'm very excited to know what will hatch. If possible, I want it to be a great creature. Inject magic power into the egg. Meanwhile, Ed was playing with Panda. I wonder how far Panda can fly. I know it can carry up to 5 people. Kaiyui. The white cushion began to float as if to say I'll show you. The rate of ascent slowed after 5 meters, and yet it managed to continue climbing, stopping after about 10 meters. From that point on, he quickly fell and half fell asleep as if he was tired. So you're good at carrying heavy things, but that doesn't mean you can fly high. Oh. The absorption of the magical power in the egg stopped abruptly. I feel that I have been absorbed much more than with Panta. Apparently, it varies according to the species. I then cut my hand and dropped blood. Bush smoke that looks like steam is generated and the top of the egg head opens. However, nothing comes out. It's funny. I thought I was born. But is there something inside? Shoo, a long, thin thing flew out of the egg with great force. It writhed in the air like a snake and twisted round. After a while, the thing finally came to me, and seemed to be looking down at me from an elevated position. The pointed head was like an arrowhead attached to a spear. The silver body was shiny like metal. Unlike Panda, I don't see anything resembling an eye, but I'm pretty sure its shape will change. Jackie. Countless blades appeared on his smooth body. I think he's trying to say he's aggressive. When you return to its original state, its body stretches and surrounds us, including the tree, in many layers. When I touched a part of his body, it was elastic and looked like a rope. It appears to be an attack creature. Analysis says it can grow up to 100 meters. What a strange body you have. When it returns to its original length, it rubs its head against my hand as if it wants me to caress it. This is a lovely thing to do. Panda just lets Kid pamper him, and doesn't come near me. Well, it's time to name it. I'm going to call him Rosyuk, because he's like a string. Do you like that name? Rosyuk happily rubs his torso against my body. Ha. This kid is cute. Kaiyui, a disgruntled Panta, peeked out from behind. I was surprised by Luntata. The dungeon that should have been there has disappeared completely. All that was left was a huge, vertical hole. What happened? The inhabitants of the city led the same life as always, probably because they were used to it. Are you all right, Sane? Don't touch me, you bitch. Kaya. I smacked Sora's hand away from me. A throbbing rage, like molten lava, was bursting inside me. I got off my horse and rushed at her to strangle her. Gua. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you interrupting me? Stop it, Sane. You're going to kill Sora. I clicked my tongue. I took my hands off her neck. The people around were glaring at me. It's no good staying here any longer. If they find out I'm a hero, my reputation will be ruined before I even announce it. I need to be admired for my ingenuity and skill. I can't afford to ruin my reputation over something like this. Sora, are you conscious? I'm a little dizzy. Sane. You shouldn't treat your friends like that. All three were beginning to show signs of rejection towards me. Although the demonic eye of seduction is working, I can't deny that what I did was too much. It is time to tie up loose ends. I'm going to cast my seduction spell one more time. Fu. Ha. Aha. The effect was immediate and their expressions became ecstatic. This way they won't be able to betray me. They are pawns that I will have to discard sooner or later, but for now, I need them. It's time to go. Yes. We immediately left Luntata. What did you say? The ruins have already been fully explored. I'm not sure I understand what Count Roan is saying, since my conscience is clouded. He said that some adventurers visited the city and defeated the leaders of the demon tribe. Moreover, it took them a short time to go through the subterranean ruins, which had not been explored, and they returned to the surface after finding a mountain of valuable relics. The inhabitants of the city, as well as the Count, all praised the mysterious adventurers. Oh, Father, you're here. Marianne, a beautiful woman, entered the room. Her large breasts, which swayed and jiggled every time she walked, aroused my sexual desire intensely. This woman will be mine. I looked into that girl's eyes using demonic seduction. 8. Warning: the demonic eye does not work against people who have a higher level than the bearer of the ability. 8. My demonic eye isn't working? I was surprised once again. The only condition for using my demonic eye is that the target be of a lower level than mine. In other words, I can't have the woman in front of me. I gritted my teeth in anger. Saint's armor, you say you were chosen to be a hero, but I dare advise you, as a veteran in life, that God sometimes loves the unexpected. You mean that adventurer is dearer to God than I am? I don't know yet, but he had the strength, the luck, and the heart to make me think that. What do you think you're saying, you old bastard? I will kill you right now. You're oozing bloodlust? I suddenly found that a maid had a sword pointed at me. I didn't even realize at what point she had pulled it out. I am the hero, and I am level 63. Who is this woman? Certainly, this situation is somewhat dangerous. It is better not to do anything rash. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Now, if you'll excuse me. We left Count Roan's mansion. Why is nothing working? I'm the hero. Everyone should worship me. I'm going to kill all of you. Once out of town, I hit every rock and tree I could find. I finally broke a tree to relieve some of my frustration. The 3 girls looked at me worriedly from a distance, as if they knew that if they touched me, they would be beaten. Why do they have those faces? It frustrates me just to look at them. I feel like a child who can't control his emotions. They're just toys that do what I say. Though I managed to regain my composure and suppress the rage rising in me. Sane, I think it would be best to return to the country. What are you going to do about the sacred sword? The sword? I will get the last sacred sword that is in Armadan. The plan will remain the same. If you want to go back, do it. That adventurer already has a sacred sword. In other words, he doesn't need to get a second sacred sword. If I keep this up, I'm sure I'll get the second one. And when I come back, I will be the person who will have all the power. That's right. I will go to the village. Once I have the sacred sword, I'm going to see that stupid Toru. I'll remind him that it was me who was cheating on him with his future wife. He's probably consoling himself. I will hold Lisa in front of him, together with Nansora. I can already imagine his eyes filled with jealousy and anger. I am already feeling excited. Hey, Lisa. What do you think of Toru? Stop it. It was a mistake to go out with him. Exactly. She touched our engagement ring with a look of satisfaction on her face. There is a great distance between Inuk and the royal capital. If we had to walk, it would certainly take 3 days. But we don't want to take this trip too fast. My goal is to take it easy and explore the places I visit. It's a journey to find something to fill the hole in my heart. Blizzard Blossom was dancing next to the iron fan while freezing a band of orcs. In a matter of seconds, they became ugly ice statues in the meadow. You're soft and fluffy, Kaiyui. I am resting in the shade of a tree with Panda as a pillow. When Panda's soft fur touches your face, it makes you terribly drowsy. It's not that Panda likes to be around Kd, it's that Kd doesn't want Panda to stay away from her. It makes sense if you think about it that way. By the way, Rosyuk, the creature I awoke from the second egg, is resting on my right hand. When you make a contract with such a beast, it can engrave itself on your body like a seal, and it materializes the moment you call it. I am still in awe of this animal. Master, I have eliminated all the monsters. Sorry for leaving you all the work. Don't worry, it's my duty as a slave. Her big white tail wagged as she looked at me with a happy expression. What is it? Well, I was wondering if you could let me prepare lunch today. Sure. That sounds interesting. If I can let Kid cook, it will be much easier for me. I'll let her take care of it. The chores would be easier for both of us if we take turns. I just hope I can make it. Don't worry about anything. Urara-san was teaching me. I will prepare my master a delicious meal. Apparently my face reflected my insecurity. Because of that, Kid responded quickly so that I would trust her. All right. I'm going to trust her. She's going to make lunch. The first thing to prepare is a devil bullfrog. Remove the guts, skin and put it in the pot. After adding various seasonings and skull more herb leaves, when it turns green, we throw a fresh mandrake into the pot and then wait for it to turn purple. Exiled was talking to herself when she started cooking. I guess it's a normal thing. Many people do it from time to time. The problem is that the atmosphere emanating from the cooking reflects danger. I'm not sure purple food is good, but just the smell alone is good enough to whet the appetite. Here you go, master. In the bowl that was handed to me was a thick liquid tinged with purple. In addition, a frog leg protrudes from the interior. It looks terribly unappetizing. However, the smell alone is good. It watches with her hands folded in front of her chest. He's waiting for me to say, "This is delicious." It's not fair. Even if I don't actually think so, I can only say one thing when she stares at me with those big eyes. I put it in my mouth. It's delicious. Really? Wait, don't jump on me. I'm eating. Master, master, master. Calm down. While I had an excited drubbing her body next to mine, I bewilderedly continued to eat my food. It is a very strange dish. Despite its terrible appearance, it tastes very delicious. Eating it is a real pleasure. I wonder if we can get to do this again. I placed the bowl on the floor and caressed Kid's head as she was hugging me. Her ears drooped with a great sigh. She was so loving to Marianne and the others at Enoch. It's clear she has been trying so hard lately. I hope you have enjoyed having a bed of your own and experiencing privacy these past few days. I will do more and more for you, master. I'm flattered, but don't push yourself. Master, 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 master. Are you listening to me? She buried her face in my belly and rolled around in the grass. Her large fluffy tail swayed back and forth. Kid's tail. I need to touch it. It won't be a problem if I do, right? After all, I am her master. It feels different than Panda's fur. This will probably become a habit. Kid's sounds made me shudder. This is not good. I think I've overdone it. Master. Her beautiful white hair makes my eyes water. Her silky hair flowed over her shoulders, and I could feel the strong sensuality of her neck. I managed to suppress the urge to reach out my hands. Instinct and reason had already started to fight in my head. Instinct stands before reason in the form of a huge red dragon, and reason goes to fight it with a stick and a wooden shield. There was no way to win this battle. After one fierce battle after another, reason finally hits instinct in the face. The dragon collapses to the ground. This battle is barely won. I wish I could eat more. Really? A cheerful kid gets up from the floor and goes for more food. It was very close. Reason somehow prevailed, but nothing assures me that it will win next time. That's how pretty Kid is. And she fits me like a glove. However, I still hesitate as to whether I should touch her. Lisa's shadow is in my head. And besides, my intentions were not to use a master-slave contract to have a relationship. It is not known to what extent the contract affects the mind. Maybe it doesn't at all, or maybe it does. The quickest way to find out is to ask a slaver, but I don't dare do that. I'm not going to do anything until I can confirm that at least her feelings are genuine. Until I can organize my mind. Master. A voice called out to me and I turned my eyes to the distance. I'm not sure if it was the smell of food that attracted them, but another group of orcs was approaching. I wonder if there are several orc nests around here. How annoying. Having to deal with them. I'll let one of the pets take care of them. Rosyuk. Defeat them. The seal on my right hand glowed, and Rosyuk flew away. The 2-meter-long silver creature flew through the air with the speed of the wind, expelling blades from its body in all directions. The cries of the orcs echoed in the distance. Rosyuk had attacked the group of orcs at a terrifying speed. In the blink of an eye he had taken care of them. Is that strength normal, or is it the result of being strengthened by my blood, magic, works, etc.? The Master Tamer title has a special ability to strengthen the monsters used by the Tamer, and I don't think this situation is an exception. And in case you were wondering, it seems that the beasts of the family are also classified as demons. Within minutes, the orcs were annihilated. On the third day, we continued walking towards the royal capital. As we walked, we began to pass adventurers and vendors along the way, and we could see what looked like a cluster of buildings in the distance. That's the royal capital, isn't it? It's huge. Armand is a very large country, and the population in the royal capital in turn is also inordinately large. The amount of goods, people and money that travel all over the country come here. An outer wall of solid stone surrounds the city. I've been here a few times, but it's very large and I've only been able to visit some of the smaller parts. There are many sights to see, and countless stores serving delicious food and selling rare items. There are also many famous adventurers here, and there is no better place to make a name for yourself in this country than here. But in my case, I don't want to be famous, so I don't care. By the way, Master, to whom should you give that letter? I think it's a guy named Jonathan Rockbell. He runs a shipping business and is quite famous here in the capital. He's a rich merchant. But why to that person? I'm not going to answer that question because I don't know. The Count had a kind and gentlemanly character, and with how knowledgeable he is, this Jonathan is probably not a bad person either. But the image of a wealthy merchant is not very good. They are steeped with dirty money, and have a blatantly big attitude and turn up their noses at us adventurers. I've heard that they do a lot of nasty things behind closed doors. I hope he isn't one of those people. Woo! I heard someone shouting somewhere. When I looked ahead, I saw a carriage coming at full speed from the city towards us. A ceratops, a subspecies of dragon with a large, 10-foot body, pulled the chariot. It's a quiet and boring monster, but when they're hyped up, no one can stop them. Maybe something made it angry and it started to run. I placed myself in front of the road where the ceratops was heading. Master, don't. Stay where you are. Well, with the beast's giant body placed in front of me, I extended my left hand forward, and touched the tip of its nose with my finger. Zuntsu! The sound of the impact ripples through the air and the ceratop's hind legs rise at the sudden braking. In a similar fashion, the carriage behind it rose from the ground, and it was as if it had stopped at the same time as the animal. Gah! The animal's hind legs dropped down, and so did the carriage. The person controlling the animal fell out of his seat and landed on his butt on the ground. Yoom! Good boy. I stroked the ceratop's nose to calm it down. When I looked around, I saw many people with their mouths open. There was a cup of coffee served in front of me. I didn't expect you to stop our transport vehicle by yourself. You must be a very famous adventurer. I'm not that famous. It's true that until a while ago I was a member of an S-rank party, but now I'm just an unknown traveler. We were in a room inside a large company. We had a meeting with a man who referred to himself as the vice president. It all started when we stopped the ceratop's drawn carriage. There was some damage to the carriage, but the gentleman was safe. The cargo was mostly intact and the ceratop was unharmed. A person from a transport company who got word of the commotion brought us here to talk when he heard the whole story. Now we are drinking coffee together. It is a delicious coffee. The aroma is good, and the bitterness and acidity are just right. It is similar to the taste of the high-quality beans I used to drink. So what did you want to talk to me about? Oh, right. It's about reward. Thank you very much for stopping our transport. It may not be much, but please accept this. He placed about 20 silver coins on the table. It's not like I helped him because I wanted money, but since he is giving it to me, I will gladly accept it. I will use this money to take out for a delicious meal. Master, aren't you going to ask him? Who is standing next to me, whispers in my ear. I was a bit startled by her nice, clear voice. What should I ask? The letter. Ah, well, this is a transport company, isn't it? If this man is in the same business, he must know where I can find this Jonathan guy. If I may, there's something I'd like to ask you. Do you know where I can find someone named Jonathan? Yes, he's my boss. I see. In that case, I would like to speak to him. I have a letter from Count Roan that I need to deliver to him. Sure. Let me check. I handed the letter to the vice president. He checked the corners of the letter and then handed it back to me. There is no doubt that this letter is legitimate. Please wait a moment. He got up from his seat and headed for the living room. This is a great coincidence. The carriage I helped a moment ago turned out to belong to a company owned by Jonathan. I was lucky I didn't have to get in trouble with strangers in order to find him. Knock knock. There was a knock at the door and a man entered the room. The man who entered had a plump figure, but the next man who entered the room was a thin, middle-aged man with long red hair and a nice mustache under his nose. They sat on the couch in front of us. I am Jonathan Rockbell, the president of this company. I understand you have a letter from the Earl of Roan. May I see it? Of course. After receiving the envelope, he checked the sender and addressee, then removed the seal. Several sheets of paper came out from inside. After reading, He smiled slightly, perhaps because the content was interesting. You seem to have performed quite admirably in Inuk, Tarudono. I don't think it was anything that impressive. I just did what I had to do. You're a very modest fellow. No wonder the Count holds you in high regard. What? Does he hold me in esteem? There are many compliments about you written in this letter. He waves the letter with a smile on his face. I want to read what it says, but he probably won't show me. However, I've had a few conversations with Count Roan and felt no affection for me at any time. After all, you can't read the emotions of aristocrats. Or am I insensitive? All right, I'll do as the Count asked. Anything for an old friend. What was it that he asked you? I can't say it here. And where can you say it? Everything is becoming more and more confusing. You'll have to excuse me, but I need some time. I would appreciate it if you could come back here in the evening. So tomorrow you'll explain everything to me? He responded to my words with I promise. What the hell does that mean? Do you want me to come back tonight? You're being selfish, Jonathan. I decided to come back tonight, feeling puzzled inside. As night fell, and I stood in front of the transportation company. There was a carriage parked there, as if waiting for us to arrive. It was a black carriage, and had a very atypical decoration. It seemed to be something that aristocrats would use for stealth at night. The window curtains are closed so as to not let anyone look inside. Crying, Jonathan opened the carriage door and stepped out. I've been waiting for you, come in. As we got into the carriage, we realized that he was the only one inside. Then the carriage began to move, as if it had a predestined course. Never tell anyone about where we're going. Is it a dangerous place? No, but it's a secret location. The place you are going to see is one that commoners cannot know exists. Only aristocrats can rub elbows with each other in such a place. Rub elbows? You don't say. We're gonna. My expectations were correct. The carriage was headed to a palace that was located on the outskirts of the royal capital. Roan's request is for you to meet with someone important. I'll keep the details to myself for now, but it won't be a bad thing. In fact, I'm sure it will be something beneficial to you. I can agree to that. As we pass through the magnificent gates and vast gardens, we stop in front of a huge structure. Jonathan exited the carriage first, and I went down next. At the entrance, a young man who looked like a butler greeted us and led us inside the palace. Wow! It's unbelievable. The high-ceilinged entrance is a masterpiece. The facade of the building has a staircase that spreads out its rails and is decorated all over. Being a rich man is not the same as being born to be a rich man. Even high-ranking aristocrats cannot own such a building. I already had an answer for where I was. We went through a room on the second floor and sat on the couch. Everything is brilliant and disturbing. I was a little nervous. As an adventurer, I have seen and been to many places, but never something like this. The door opens without warning and two knights, along with an elderly man, enter the room. The old man sits face to face in front of us and the knights stand on either side to protect him. This is a private hearing, and I'm not supposed to meet with you. You should know that. Huh? It was the old man who initiated the conversation. Jonathan responds briefly and bows slightly. Well, I allowed you the visit tonight because there's something I want you to do, and that's incumbent upon you, adventurer. Hey, do I have to answer? Jonathan, what do I do? He nodded his head as he noticed my reaction. What do you need me to do? Well, the truth is that the royal capital is in danger. If the situation escalates, the country will soon be destroyed. I want you to solve it. I regret the crisis the royal capital is going through, but can you be more specific about your request? I don't like beating around the bush in a conversation. If there is something you want me to do, say so clearly. The old man paused and then replied, let's get straight to the point. I want you to defeat the Ant Queen of Death. I could not understand his words. It took me 1 minute to respond. You want 2 people to defeat a monster that requires an army of tens of thousands of people? To be precise, just defeat the queen. I'm not saying kill all the monsters, but the queen is locked in her hive, and the result is the same. Why don't you take care of it yourself instead of asking me? Why the silence? Wouldn't it make sense to have your army available for this mission? Or are they in a no-win situation? The soldiers of our army have all died. We have failed. I was speechless. So he blew it. He resorts to what power he has left to ask me for help. He no longer has that kind of power to figure it out on his own. Ah, now I'm beginning to understand everything. Count Roan thought that I, the one who had defeated one of the leaders of the demon race, could save the royal capital from imminent danger. Otherwise, they would have no choice but to abandon the capital. Death ants are ruthless monsters with voracious appetites that are capable of wiping out a town or city in a matter of days. When separated, they are not as strong, but when in a group, they become extremely dangerous. They top the list of monsters you should never face carelessly. I want you to tell me whether or not you can do it. I can do it. Oh, wonderful. Not only was the old man in front of me shocked, but also the knights and Jonathan were stunned. Exiled was the only one who looked natural. If you succeed, I'll give you a special title, and land you desire. I'll give you the title of hero. I'm sorry, but I'm not interested in that kind of thing. If I had to ask for something, it would be money. The interior of the room was noisy again. It seems that my answer was unexpected for them. The old man in front of me was mumbling. Money. Okay, I will pay you if you comply with this request. How much will you give me? 300 million. That is outrageous. It's a very small price to pay when the real capital is in grave danger. Of course, I have every right to decline that offer. This was all Roan's idea. But I don't feel comfortable overlooking people who are in danger, especially if I have a power that can solve it. It's a hassle, but I'll follow my heart and deal with it. I'll ask again. Do you really not want the title of hero? I don't like to stand out in a crowd. I'd rather you didn't mention my name. I don't care about such things. Once the conversation was over, we stood up. As I was leaving, I heard someone behind me say something like, I hope they don't give you a title. In a forest not far from the royal capital. And I were being guided by Jonathan. To the public I'm the president of a shipping company, but in reality I'm a secret agent working directly for His Majesty. There are only a few people who know that, and Count Roan is one of them. As we went deeper into the dimly lit forest, the sunlight filtered through the curtain-like trees. Monsters watched us in the shade of the trees and grass, and slimes and insects fought for power in the trees. On the other hand, the aroma emanating from the flora and fauna was quite relaxing. If there wasn't chaos waiting for us ahead, I could have taken a nap with Panda as a pillow. It is also good to take a break while using X's lap as a pillow. Master, are death ants really that dangerous? What? I am surprised by what she just said. I can't believe there is a person in this world who doesn't know of the death ants. It has always seemed to me that Kid is a bit unbalanced. She has the air of being well educated, but doesn't know things that are considered common knowledge. Even children should understand the dangers of death ants. How did she become a slave in the first place? Was she kidnapped from somewhere? When this is over, we should talk properly. Stop. This is ant territory. I guess this is the part where you'll go back. Don't feel bad. Unlike you, I'm not strong enough to stand up to them. After that he said, I'll be waiting for you outside the forest. It is not normal to bet the fate of a nation on just two adventurers. What on earth did Count Roan write in his letter? If I had not lived up to his expectations, this country would be finished. And the king too. How dare he put me in a situation like this? Besides, this is the work of a hero. I am just a simple adventurer. I simply want to travel and recover from my traumatic past. Why didn't they go after Sane? Well, it's not worth complaining at this point. I've accepted it. Master, are you feeling bad? Don't worry, I was just thinking about how we're going to kill the ants. Kaiyui, I see you're worried about me, too. Pand rubs his body against my face. I also felt a strange sensation against my legs, so I looked down and saw Kt rubbing her tail on me. Maybe she's doing it unconsciously. She has a motivated face. Master, are those death ants? Black creatures were hidden behind the bushes in front of us. Their size is about 1 meter, and what appeared to be one of these ants was lying dead. As Jonathan said, the nest seems to be near. It's hard to find a burrow when there are a lot of trees. Then leave it to me. Kd took out her 2 iron fans and spread them out. Twin tornado. 2 tornadoes formed and spun all over the place. The storm ripped the trees from their roots and blew them skyward. The death ants also flew along with the trees one after the other. An empty, circular space was created in the forest. "Come forth, ice." The temperature dropped sharply in an instant and the surrounding ground froze. The ants that managed to cling to the ground instantly became ice sculptures. "Master, the cleaning is complete." "Well, that's refreshing." The exposed burrow is in the center of the space. "Thanks to my lovely slave, I was saved from the trouble of looking for it." "Still, I feel she has overplayed her hand." "Won't Jonathan or the king complain later?" "It's still small. It's barely enough to get people in." The ant burrow is a little more than 1 meter in diameter. It is large enough for 2 ants to enter. "What's going on?" "Shall I cast a spell?" "No, we shouldn't do that. It's pretty deep in there, so even if we could probably take out the upper levels and some ants, we still wouldn't be able to reach the queen at the bottom." "Then how about using the fire magic you've been practicing? You can burn them to death from above ground." "The heat ray?" "No, it's impossible. I don't even know where the queen is." "It will be harder to kill them if I start casting magic blindly, and we must obtain proof that we killed the queen." "There will be no reward for just saying I killed her." "How about using Rosyuk to get in there?" "However, although he is strong, his intelligence is not so high. Even if I ordered him to kill the queen, he wouldn't be able to distinguish between her and the soldiers." "It would be trouble, but if I could confront her directly, it wouldn't be a bad idea." "It would be easier if we could turn this den into a dungeon." "A dungeon?" There was something about that word that stuck with me. "I'm pretty sure I have a dungeon." There was a similar description in the status board. "Can I really do it?" I pointed my hand at the burrow and held that thought in my head. 8 Snotis. It is possible to capture the nest of the death ants and turn it into a dungeon. A tilde. Can I really? I guess I can. To be honest, I was being skeptical. I will turn the den into a dungeon. Boom, a stone box appeared on the floor, and inside was a ladder leading down. 8 Snotis. Dungeon owners can transfer to all levels. A tilde. For now, we have been transferred to the lowest level. There were 30 floors. So I selected the bottommost floor in the core of the dungeon. There, a large ant was standing. There were 10 ants that looked like soldiers wandering around, apparently confused by the unusual situation. My dungeon has taken over the den. This is their graveyard now. Blizzard blossom. Pish. Soldier ants freeze. But the queen shakes her body and breaks the ice. Wow. He snaps her mandibles threateningly at us. Even in this situation, instead of running away, she is showing her anger. Is it her pride as a queen, or is she simply unaware of the situation? I draw my great sword and swing it with great speed. The queen's head bounced off the ground and her massive body collapsed. This is what happens when you try to fight me directly. She may be the queen of the death ants, but she's no match for a level 300 warrior like me. I sighed as I picked her head up, and the other ants, "Master?" "That's right. Can't the owner of the dungeon do anything about that?" Immediately after, multiple windows open in front of me. A map of the dungeon was projected there. It's possible to release some monsters that will devour and kill ants. If we leave them alone for a while, they will be exterminated. Are we going home now? Yes. Transfer to the surface. I threw the queen's head on the table. Jonathan smiled. You've done it. Just as I expected from a man recommended by our own. You have lived up to our expectations. Thank you very much. By the way, can I ask you something? I will respond to the best of my knowledge. Why were there so few ants? His expression tensed at my words. Because the army sacrificed themselves in exchange for reducing the number of ants. But it wasn't enough. I was pondering what to do. When you came to see me, did the Count know? Yes, he knew. He knew because I had discussed it with him. You should be proud. You have saved the city, the country even. The reward you will receive will be great. Could it be that this was the Count's reward? It took me a while to figure it out. But as a result I met a wealthy merchant and met the king of this country. I will also receive a great reward. The money was just a bonus. The real prize is to have met powerful people. They'll be here soon. Make sure you are prepared. Who? Tun 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 tun. A lot of footsteps echo outside the room. The door opened vigorously and several knights entered the room. Are you two from the Manu Brigade? That is correct. You will have to accompany us to the palace. The atmosphere is not very calm. Did something go wrong? I got rid of the ants as requested. Suddenly, one of the knights extended his hand. Please allow me to shake your hand, savior of our country. Question mark. I was in the courtroom with all the knights lined up in a row. Behind the knights, the nobles were lined up in formal attire. In the midst of them all stood Count Roan. On the throne in the background sits the king of the nation of Armand. I felt like I was being suffocated by the whole atmosphere. I was born in a small country town, and raised by ordinary parents in an ordinary way, so I am not familiar with this kind of situation at all. I don't know what I should do, either. Who is standing next to me, has a proud expression on her face for some reason. It's like she's saying that's right, he's my master. Truban Tamamo, both of you, step forward. I followed the instructions and knelt before His Majesty the King. According to the instructions I received beforehand, we are not supposed to raise our heads until we hear the voice of the King. According to Jonathan, today is an official hearing. If we are rude, we will be thrown in jail immediately. Even the hero who saved the country would be beheaded on the spot. Countless eyes in our surroundings are looking at us. Why do they allow a slave to be in a place like this? She's very beautiful. His Majesty has allowed her to be present in this place. Watch what you say. I could hear what some of the nobles were saying. Most things are about Kt. I'm the star of this place and no one is talking about me. Well, I guess it's okay. I didn't do this for attention. Finally, the king breaks his silence. The defeat of the Queen of the Death Ants has been successful. Although our army had already defeated most of them, it had become very complicated to finish them off due to them hiding in their burrow. Certainly, it was very problematic. I cannot deny that fact. Our troops are very powerful, but this time, the enemy was more cunning. What would have become of our royal capital without you? On behalf of all our people, I thank you for all your efforts. I appreciate your words. I'm so nervous that my stomach churns. I'm not used to using honorifics, so I'm not very good at it. We were allowed to stand up, and suddenly a carriage was brought to us. There was a pile of white gold coins glittering inside the carriage. There are 700 million there. Question mark. I looked directly at the king with surprise. Our agreement was for 300 million. Why 400 million more? This extra money is a gift from me. I don't want you to hesitate to accept it. Thank you very much. Also, there's one more thing. Hey, we agreed it would just be money. You're not going to tell me I'm going to be a hero now, are you? If that happens, I will be stuck in this country. I am considering awarding the title of hero to the Manu Brigade, of which you are the leader. The royal audience hall went into awe. I had never heard of giving a hero title to a party. Normally it is awarded to an individual, so what this king just said sounds a little crazy. The king opened his mouth again and continued talking, as if he didn't care about the agreement we had reached. I have always wondered why it is always one person who gets the title. The hero is a person who travels all over the country together with his party. It means that he is not the only strong one, but all those who make up the party. What about the rest of the people? Don't they deserve to be heroes too? I'm sure they do. Should the party change all its core members, then clearly the difference in ability will significantly change. It is not necessarily that they have been strong in the past, but that they will also continue to be strong in the future. The king crosses his legs and smiles even more. The title of hero can be revoked, and when you are no longer useful, you can be discarded, and in case you no longer want to be one, there is always the option of training a successor. Toru. I see. The king's words seem to have convinced the nobles. It is as if they had been convinced by force, including me. He found a hole in our agreement. I said I didn't want a title, but giving it to the party is crazy. What should I look like when I go to the guild? After all, master is master. What does that mean? Kid quoted such words with a big smile. Slaves rejoice when their master becomes a hero. From my point of view, this is an extremely problematic situation. In this way, The king gave me a bracelet called Title of Hero. You can use this place as much as you want. Thank you very much. Thanks to Jonathan's contacts, we were able to rent a house in the royal capital. It is a small and cozy house. However, the exterior and interior look quite elegant. We're going to leave sooner or later anyway, so there's no need to force us to buy one. Kid pulled a teapot and 2 cups from her luggage and headed for the kitchen. However, she quickly turned around and said, "Would you like some tea, Master?" "Sure thing." "How about you, Jonathan?" "I'll have to decline the invitation. I have to go home." He took his hand off the front doorknob and turned, saying, "That letter contained a request from Roan to His Majesty. He wants you to be the hero of this country." "Is that why they made me take care of the ants?" "Yes. A hero has to have achievements that make him worthy of the title. No matter how close you are to me and His Majesty, it is something that is not easily bestowed." Finally it was clear to me. In the end, nothing was as complicated as I thought it would be. Jonathan and the king were working with the premise of making me a hero from the beginning. And it was Count Roan who made the plan. It looks like he was manipulating me, all along, like I was in the palm of his hand. I look at the gold bracelet on my arm and suddenly a question comes to me. The king has granted the title to the Maniou Brigade. Is it still wrong for us to leave the country? He walked out the front door as if he had said all he had to say. It was a little annoying, but I guess it doesn't matter as long as I can keep traveling. Anyway, I need a place to settle down, so it's not a bad idea to stay in this country after the trip is over. "Master, I brought you some tea." "Thank you." I sit in a chair and take a sip. The backpack was moving from side to side. Suddenly, Panda emerges from a gap. It floated in the air and landed on the table. "Why do you always look like a cushion?" Kaiyui, indignantly. He flew off to the kitchen where Kd is. I was surprised that he was angry about it. I guess I should apologize later. Knock knock. Someone knocks on the front door. "One moment please." Kd runs to the door and opens it. It was Count Roan who was there. "I heard you were here. I thought I'd stop by and say hello." "Please go ahead." The Count sat across from me and smiled. "Well, I've become the hero, just like you wanted." "Ha ha ha. I can't claim that it was something I wished for, but I did it with the thought of thanking you while granting you the best reward for saving my daughter. I suppose it's all right." "Did you come alone?" "I thought Marianne was coming with him too since we were here, or is he going somewhere else later?" "This guy looks quiet, but he's actually a womanizer. No wonder he's wandering around somewhere." She stayed at the mansion. However, she was very insistent on coming, since she wanted to see you. "Marianne is currently in the midst of training to be a wife. Urara is the one who is training her, and apparently she is a very tough teacher. So Marianne has found a good future husband." "Toru, did you know that even a commoner can marry a noblewoman if he becomes a hero?" "I heard it somewhere, but what's that got to do with anything?" "Nothing now, but in the future maybe." He twisted his neck as he muttered something. "I still can't understand the nobles." The Count rose from his seat. "You're going to the auction, right?" "I hear it's being held tomorrow night, so you should go. You might find a lot of interesting things." "Anything out of the ordinary?" "You'll find out when you visit the place. Now I have to go, if you'll excuse me." The front door closed silently. Interesting things? After leaving Inuk, we heard a rumor. A dungeon has appeared near the royal capital. It seems that the dungeon has not been explored yet, and due to the high level of difficulty, it has not even been mapped properly. In addition, it appears that many of the items that have appeared are rare. We decided to challenge it immediately. It's in the middle of a very deep forest. I don't like the entrance area, it's very ugly. Who cares, let's go in. Stay calm. This is a high difficulty level dungeon, which means the enemies are also high level. In the middle of a deep forest, there is a huge hole. In the center of it was the entrance to the dungeon. A few meters away there were some adventurers camping. I used my appraisal skills, but didn't find anything irregular. They are all low level. I almost blew it. It pains me to say that I'm desperate for a challenge, but we're going to have to make our way here. I couldn't even challenge the Luntata dungeon. I'm going to vent all my frustration here. Besides, I'm sure the world will be amazed when I beat a high difficulty dungeon. I will get the sacred sword and make my name known to all people. Now I just need to get some rare items for the battle against the Demon King. The time is not yet right, but sooner or later I will embark on a journey to defeat the Demon King. It's a good idea to prepare now so that I won't have any failures when I do. Let's go. Alright. Hey, what was that? Sane, wait for me. Lisa, you have to run. If they catch you, you're dead. But I have Sora on my back. A blue-bodied orc was chasing us wildly. No, there are 10. Ordinary orcs are no match for us. Whether it's 20 or 30, we're sure we can finish them in a flash. But these orcs are even more dangerous. They are all level 50. Normal orcs are between level 5 and 20, so it's a whole nother story fighting these orcs. I'm sure because I used my appraisal skill to check their stats. Besides, we are still only on the second floor. If this is the difficulty of the second floor, what kind of hell will we encounter further down? This is dangerous. The difficulty of this dungeon is beyond me. Hey, Sane. Don't leave Lisa and Sora. Shut up. It's their fault for being so slow. I'm in the lead. N is behind me and Lisa is running behind her with Sora unconscious on her back. Damn, I didn't even calculate this. I wanted to finish this easily and get some rare items. I'd like to at least kill that damn orc and get some experience, but it has an intelligence I've never seen before in other monsters. If I try to attack them all at once, they show signs of being alert and keep their distance. They are also very agile and can use magic. Sora, who was hit on the head by a magical earthen rock, fainted and is now a useless burden. Sleep arrow. Lisa used a dream magic targeting the orc. However, upon hitting its target, the magic arrow disappeared completely. No way, it's too tough. We don't need that. We need a wall. Build a wall to hold them back. Good. Lisa made a wall of earth appear in the hallway. The orc broke through the wall with its body and, although it got tripped up a little, it continued to give chase fiercely. You're fucking useless. Sorry. Well, we're almost to the stairs. If we get to the first level, they will give up. I can see it now. I went upstairs first, followed by Lisa and Sora. Gawak. The orcs stopped in front of the staircase and shouted in rage. Don't think some beasts can beat me. This time, I will surrender, but as soon as I get the sacred sword, I will kill you. You've got to improve your magic. You're slowing me down. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Lisa collapsed, holding her cheek. I was so angry that I reached for my sword. If only Sora hadn't fainted, none of this would have happened. I'm sorry. It was my fault. Hey, enough is enough. What's the point of having a divided team? You're right. N's words helped me cool down. There are a lot of people around here. Killing them would be bad for my reputation. I need to calm down a bit too. Ahira must be a smart man. However, this party has become disorganized. When Toru was here, no matter how irrational the situation, he always laughed it off. I sneered at the thought. Why am I thinking about that? No way did I trust that guy. He was just a simple burden. Someone like that can't be associated with a hero like me. Damn, I can't stop this frustration. Oh, I got something good this time too. This place is excellent. The amount of experience is good. The items are valuable and it's great to have a dungeon so close. If you know all the tricks, you can get to the second floor. I saw 3 people coming out of the dungeon with their bulging backpacks. Their levels were hovering in the 30s. I wondered how they managed to get rid of those orcs. Sane, what if we ask those people for advice? Huh? Do you want me to bow my head? But we won't get anywhere at this rate. It's extremely unpleasant. Me, a hero begging to be taught things? I'm going to pick some flowers. What for? Don't you know, that's how a woman does her business. No, I was planning to talk to those 3 anyway, so stay here while I go. The trio of girls lingered as I headed for the bushes. What was the need for us to ask them for advice? We can steal the things they have. I am trying to save the world. A small sacrifice is like a necessary expense. Hold on a second. Well, let's rest for a bit in the meantime. Hey, don't run. I jumped out of the bushes and ran as fast as I could. Men threw brown stuff at me with their bare bottoms exposed. One of those things hits my back. It sucks, it sucks, it sucks. When I went to attack them, all 3 were relieving themselves with their asses fully exposed. Sane. Yuck, You're covered in shit. Ah! The three girls made a face of disgust. What kind of attitude is that? Even though they're such useless pigs. We must flee. I'm not stopping to pick up my backpack. The three girls started running away with me too. You're not going to get away with this. I'm going to shit on your body. Come here. We're not finished with you. They still continued to chase us. They are very persistent. How humiliating. I'm the hero and I'm covered in shit. I want to kill them right now, but if I stop, I'll be in the crossfire. It is unbearable. It's frustrating, but the right thing to do here is to run away. Little by little, the distance between us and them widened and we lost sight of them. I crouched down in a safe place and caught my breath. Hey Sane, you smell awful. I'm sorry, but I won't go near you for now. There's a river over there. Why don't you take a dip? The girls were far away from me. Damn, this is the price I pay for screwing up. Flies were beginning to swarm. Get away from me. Get away from me. Shaking my fist angrily, I headed toward the river. It is a starry night. Kd and I are on our way to a mansion. According to what we have heard, the auction is held there. This is a members-only event, so outsiders are not normally allowed to attend. However, if you meet certain conditions, you may participate. One such condition is a recommendation from a member. I have already received a recommendation from the Count, so participation itself is not a problem. If there is a problem, you can hide your identity. Although the organizer will know exactly who you are. Several participants have come to this place with their faces, names and identities hidden. In addition, it is strictly forbidden to pry. It seems to be a measure to avoid unnecessary problems. That's why we also wear masks to hide our faces. There were strong soldiers guarding the gate. They stare at us. I have a letter of recommendation. Excuse me, sir. Please come in. I lightly showed the envelope the Count had given me and went through the door. In the spacious grounds, there was a magnificent garden. It's a big mansion. But whose house is it? It appears to be the villa of the Duke of the capital. That would explain a lot, besides the guards and the reasons why everyone comes with their identities hidden. It doesn't matter who the organizer of the auction is. I'm sure everyone here feels that way. You should be full of thoughts about when you will get what you want and how much you can bid for it. A large white building comes into view. In front of the entrance, there were participants talking, each with a drink in their hands. They are probably killing time as it is still early. Once inside the building, an elderly man bows to us. Thank you very much for coming tonight. It looks like this is your first time participating in this event. May I see your letter of recommendation? Here it is. The old man looks at the envelope and smiles. I'm sure it's genuine. So, once again, welcome to the auction. We have a wonderful selection of items for you to choose from tonight. If there is, it is a starry night. Kd and I are on our way to a mansion. According to what we have heard, the auction is held there. This is a members-only event, so outsiders are not normally allowed to attend. However, if you meet certain conditions, you may participate. One such condition is a recommendation from a member. I have already received a recommendation from the Count, so participation itself is not a problem. If there is a problem, you can hide your identity. Although the organizer will know exactly who you are. Several participants have come to this place with their faces, names and identities hidden. In addition, it is strictly forbidden to pry. It seems to be a measure to avoid unnecessary problems. That's why we also wear masks to hide our faces. There were strong soldiers guarding the gate. They stare at us. I have a letter of recommendation. Excuse me, sir. Please come in. I lightly showed the envelope the Count had given me and went through the door. In the spacious grounds, there was a magnificent garden. It's a big mansion. But whose house is it? It appears to be the villa of the Duke of the capital. That would explain a lot, besides the guards and the reasons why everyone comes with their identities hidden. It doesn't matter who the organizer of the auction is. I'm sure everyone here feels that way. You should be full of thoughts about when you will get what you want and how much you can bid for it. A large white building comes into view. In front of the entrance, there were participants talking, each with a drink in their hands. They are probably killing time as it is still early. Once inside the building, an elderly man bows to us. Thank you very much for coming tonight. It looks like this is your first time participating in this event. May I see your letter of recommendation? Here it is. The old man looks at the envelope and smiles. I'm sure it's genuine. So, once again, welcome to the auction. We have a wonderful selection of items for you to choose from tonight. If there is something that interests you, please bid on it. By the way, what should I call the people here? The representative receives a tag with a number on it, and it is customary to call them sir or madam by naming the number. The one I was given was number 31. I placed the paper on my chest. Tonight I will be Mr. 31. I have to be careful not to accidentally leak my name. Heading to the back of the building, there was a huge room. Inside the room was a crescent-shaped stage with countless chairs lined up. There were already people in some of the chairs. We sat in the seats at the end of the stage. We are pretty far away, but both Kt and I have good eyesight, so we can see well. Why did you choose to sit in the back? I don't know how all this works, so I decided to keep some distance. The closer I am, the more attention I get. I don't like to stand out at all. Sir, may I offer you a drink? Of course. A young man brings me 2 glasses. It looks like champagne. Kayui? Don't go out. Panda left the seal without permission. He was peering through the glass, curious about what was going on. Then she settles into Kid's arms and closes his eye happily. Unlike Rosyuk, Panda leaves the seal at will. I worry that he will jump out of nowhere at an important moment and surprise everyone. A large number of people begin to enter the room, and a person who appears to be the master of ceremonies takes his place on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to start the auction. The rules are pretty simple. All you have to do is get the item being offered at a higher price than any other. Now, let's get started. The first item displayed was a very large, fist-sized piece of jewelry. It was illuminated by the light reflecting off it and emits a dazzling glow. 2,000, 2,500, 3,500, 5,100. The price went up and up. 10 minutes later, the jewel was sold for 330 million. I break out in a cold sweat at this ridiculous spectacle. Wow, this place is even more outrageous than I imagined. Hundreds of millions being spent in just a few minutes. The people who come here are incredibly wealthy. I have 1.2 billion on hand, but I'm starting to feel insecure about this amount. The upper class is scary. After that, one valuable item after another was put up, and the auction continued. From here, even more valuable items will appear. First up, one of tonight's highlights, the skill ceiling scroll. The bidding starts with 1 million. This is where the auction had my full attention for the first time all night. The scroll is one of the relics left by an ancient race. Its manufacturing method is still unknown today, but instead of being disposable, it activates high-level power, and the skill ceiling scroll is an extremely powerful trump card in a battle against a powerful enemy, rendering the target's abilities completely useless. If you are a fighter, this is a valuable item to have. I thought this item was going to cause a stir in the room, but all was quiet. The moderator is confused. Ladies and gentlemen, the bidding has begun. I was surprised at what was happening, but then I understood. Upper-class people have no interest in fighting. It's a waste of money for them to bid on such items, to be honest. I raised my hand. 1 million. Anyone else? No one seems to raise their hand. 2 minutes later I got the right to buy the scroll. Why did you raise your hand? In case of emergency, skill ceiling is valuable and only works once against any opponent, whether it's a demon king or a hero. It's a great tool, but why was it ignored? I guess they weren't interested and would rather save their money. There are still many more items left to auction. But I was wrong. The battle will be fierce from here on. Many of the participants in the room begin to get restless. Some changed seats and moved to the front. The following item is extremely valuable. With this item you can no longer be afraid of being killed. An elixir that prolongs the years of life. It can protect the owner from death just once. Bidding starts at 2 million. It seems that this was the object they were looking for. The price rose at a tremendous rate. The price of the winning bid is 850 million. The people here are crazy. Now I'm going to introduce you to some slaves of extreme rarity. They're all from races that hardly exist anymore, and they have abilities that can't be found on the market. The first one is an elf. The beautiful woman they brought in was covered with a thin cloth and you could see the lines of her body. She is not as beautiful as Kt, but her beauty was breathtaking. As she stared at her, Kt let out an of dissatisfaction. Naturally, the elf's appearance intensely stimulates male customers and she is sold at a very high price. It's crazy to buy and sell people. I know I am in no position to say this, but it's still not something that makes me feel good. Now, the next one is from a race that is rare in the world. The fairy tribe. The place was overflowing with screams and excitement. Fairies are a race often spoken of in legends, and said to live in the depths of the great forests where man cannot enter. They are small and cute in appearance, but their true value lies in their wings. You can fly thanks to fairy dust, a special type of powder produced by the scales on their wings. The person who comes into contact with the powder is able to fly freely for several hours. For those in power, threats to their lives are a daily occurrence. It's natural for them to want things like this to keep them safe. It is a power that can be used in extremely desperate situations. Rarity, appearance, efficiency. She must be an attractive slave to those in power. Bidding starts at 5 million. A girl with wings was brought forth in a small basket. She was frightened and trembling in a corner. Please help me. I heard a voice. Whose voice is it? Great race. Please rescue this Frau from here. The voice continues. Fairies are faithful servants of the great race. Please help this poor Frau. It was the voice of Harda's prayer. I look around, but no one seems to be listening. The price kept going up and up. I raised my hand and in a loud voice said 200 million. Wow, a pretty hefty price tag has suddenly appeared. From this point on, the rest of the people bid small amounts. I'm the only one who can hear the voice of the fairy calling for help. I can't turn a blind eye to something like this. That little fairy prays hard to be saved. Not everyone in this world is a shitty person. I'll show you. 300 million. Another incredibly high bid. Surprisingly, few people continued to bid. They all lowered their hands one by one. However, there were still 3 people who did not want to give up. To get them off my back, I'm going to raise the price even more. 450 million, 460 million, 465 million, 471 million. Surrender. I don't want to keep bidding with people like you. 600 million, 610 million. 2 are eliminated, and the remaining one, the chubbiest, continues to show interest. Oh little fairy, I'm going to have fun with you every day until you break. 800 million? The man is amazed at the amount I offer. But even so, he didn't hesitate for a second. He is persistent. How much money does he have to bid? Well, then I'll get serious. 1.1 billion? The man lowered the hand he was trying to raise. He admitted to losing. This slave is sold for a sum of 1.1 billion. The participants stood up and applauded in unison at the heated bidding war.